Alex, are you in charge?
In conclusion, respect guys like Mick Foley. Don't respect guys like Disco Inferno and CM Punk.
Absolutely.
That's going to be somebody's first impression of this. It's just like, don't respect CM Punk. And it's like, yes, that's the message to be supported.
Only Mick Foley.
I mean, yeah.
We stand Mick Foley and only Mick Foley in this stream.
What? That's true. Although, I do think that I would like to start this stream on a positive note and give a compliment to CM Punk. I would like to compliment CM Punk.
Wow. Actually. I hope there's people here watching right now because this is a moment in history.
You know what?
She's walking.
It's a historic moment. Mark the date, mark the time.
Because you know what? Say what you want about the man, and Lord knows that I have, and will absolutely continue to do so. But he is one hell of an entertainer. I would definitely prefer that he went away forever and stopped undermining the achievements of wrestlers that I actually like. But that, it's not on the table, right? So I have been truly enjoying him defend the real world rake stepping championship. It's just, it's been a beautifully entertaining week. He's been doing amazing. No one's doing it like him. And yeah, that's my compliment for CM Punk. Great entertainer.
I'm so impressed with you and shocked and proud of you. These are not words I expected to come out at this time for what we've been through, what we're going through a second time. MX, I think you're the real world champion right now. This is showing.
There's as much of a claim to be as CM Punk, to be fair.
Thank you so much.
If you got a replica belt somewhere, just spray paint X on it right now.
Spray paint.
I just think I've done a lot of personal growth.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a logo design that we could get for that with the X inside the M. I'm sure.
It's getting very close to Mox when he has it vertically.
Oh yeah.
We're getting on gimmick infringement, but what's new? It's wrestling.
Or Mox wouldn't care.
Hey guys, you know who else has had a big personal growth? Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Oh wow.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
That match was so good. Seeing that live was just incredible.
His best friends, Adam Cole.
I love this.
And what's more growth than that? Tag titles.
I did it! I believed! You all thought I was crazy!
I didn't think you were crazy.
In them.
I had nothing to do with this. I just want to put it out
true.
there.
No, I didn't think you were crazy.
Right up until the match started, I was like, the Better Than You Baby are going to win this. My mate was just like, no, it's not happening. Not at all. Yeah. And just as they won it, just turned my mate. He was like, yeah, okay, eat shit.
It's just, I am an Aussie Open lover through and through, and I want nothing more than for everything good to happen to them. But let's be real, one of them pinning Adam Cole MJF would be sort of a game changer in terms of where everyone stands in the roster. So it was kind of like they never had a chance.
You say that, but FDR did it a few weeks ago and it changed nothing.
Yeah, but
there's that.
Yeah.
Well, then again, I don't think Kyle Fletcher or Mark Davis are strapped up either. So that might not also. So that probably wouldn't have helped.
For me, I think it is always good for established tag teams to be a thrown together tag team of singles guys. That's always justifiable to me. So it would have been incredibly easily justifiable for Aussie Open to win because they're the long-term established tag team. But Better Than You Baby has the power of love and friendship on their side. And it's beautiful.
Friendship is magic.
Friendship is magic. Thank you so much. You get it.
Alex is like, friendship is a migraine. Enthusiastic nod. Yes.
Yeah, I was just so enamored with the arc in the pay-per-view, the arc of Better Than You Baby, the arc of the match itself.
That was the best chant of the night.
It was.
He was visibly
Wembley
rocked
Stadium.
by some of those chants.
Before we get into All In, which sounds like is going to be our first topic of the live stream, shall we all just say hello, introduce ourselves? Welcome to the stream. If you're watching right now, if you're a wrestling person, you just stumbled on across us on Twitter. Brave of you to click and join us. I'm Libby. I'm a part of Wrestle Inn. I'm a person that's sometimes online, often not. Probably heard me in other places. Alex, who are you? Introduce yourself.
I'm Alex. I am the person you've been annoyed at in Twitter the last few days, and I'm the host of AEL, our podcast.
I'm MX. Yeah, I pop in on podcasts. I have a podcast on the indies where we talk about North American indie wrestling, and a resident punk disliker.
So true.
I'm Fusa. I do not have a podcast, but I do help with the social media for wrestling, and I also just pitch a fuck ton of live stream ideas.
Important member of the
if there's a show there's probably been a slight I watch everything, like literally everything.
It's so true. You and Jamie are the people that I'm like, oh, they'll be watching that. I think you just beat Jamie. Just don't tell Jamie that.
Yeah,
Jamie's here threatening to do a run in.
He already knows.
Come on, do it, Jamie. Do it. Well,
we're gonna as soon as we talk shit about CM Punk. As soon as we talk shit about CM Punk, Jamie's gonna pop in again like last time.
Complimented him. I gave him a compliment.
You did a great job.
Yeah, that's not how you summon Jamie.
Now you're not allowed to speak about CM Punk for the rest of the stream.
You know what? I think that's probably for the best for everybody involved.
So, do we want to talk about All In? I assume we've all watched it. Myself and Alex were there. Alex, how did you find the atmosphere at Wembley? How did you find it? Is this your first time coming to Wembley?
No, I've been to Wembley a few times.
Okay, cool.
As I've said many times, I fucking hate getting out of the place. But no, it was really good. I don't think I've experienced an atmosphere like that for a really long time. I think the last time that I experienced that was like when Iron Maiden was headlining Download Festival.
Oh, wow.
And they were like retiring the tank. It was just a really good really good party atmosphere, and the energy never dropped either. Like everyone was as loud for the main event as they were for the opening match. I think it really helped. Like even watching it back on TV, it seemed to help everyone and elevated everything that you've seen. It was great.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, on
it was
TV,
a really,
it
really
looked
magical.
On TV, like it really did look huge, and the energy of the crowd hugely helped it. Everybody just seemed to be really into it, and that helped us be into it. And God, the whole event was just really fantastic, even on screen, you know?
Yeah.
They nailed the production value.
I think
so. Did you watch live? Were you live watching it?
Yeah, I woke up at 8:30 in the morning to watch it live.
Dude, that's crazy. How was it? What was it like starting your day with that?
Pre-show started at 9 a.m. So it was a thing of like I try to wake up at 8:30, slept in a bit, woke up at like 10 minutes before, went out to get coffee, thinking that it was not like the FTW title was going to open. Come back to Adam Cole and MJF making their entrance and going, wait, what? Why are they opening the 0 hour?
I thought this would end the 0 hour. I thought this would be like the buy-in to the fucking pay-per-view. But they went straight in with it.
Sorry, really quick. If you think that's dedication, you should have seen me during the G1. I was staying up to like 5:30 a.m. 5 out of 7 days a week.
That's
Jesus
crazy.
Christ. I can't
That
do
is
that.
crazy.
Also, thanks for joining us, Adam.
Yeah, welcome in. So we kind of discussed this match already. I guess that takes us into Hook defeating Jack Perry for the FTW Championship, and a lot of feelings about Glass in this one. Apart from the obvious
it's real glass
outcomes of using real glass and telling somebody that you use real glass. What did we think of this match?
It was all right. They did wrestling stuff.
Yeah,
they landed on a car.
It
was a pre-show match, wasn't it?
Yeah, for such a kind of in the nicest way pre-show match. What drama it has caused? What?
Before we go into the drama, though, what I will say is that Jack Perry has really done well as a heel so far. He's probably leaning into that. And like he has a little bit of a presence that was missing before now, and he's actually like doing really well. He's not just a leather jacket anymore. He has some sort of gravitas to his performance. It's really cool to see him grow like that. Yeah, and he's captivating to watch at the moment, and that was quite cool to see live as well.
Yeah, it definitely feels like he's I hope he gets some more stuff. He seems hungry for it. Maybe, he was a little more pissed off than usual going into this match. So that might have actually really harnessed something for him. For some reason I just was like, maybe there'll be a third secret match for the pre-show. This really was it for the pre-show. I think that's fine. What I didn't see and that I saw afterwards,
there wasn't a secret match. Sorry, there wasn't a secret match, but there was a secret appearance. Mercedes Moné.
Yes.
That's true. Also, you could say that there was a secret match, but we're not getting into that.
Well, it was a secret to
it was an unsanctioned match.
Yeah, definitely.
Unsanctioned, no holds barred.
Monitors out match.
Backstage.
Yeah.
Someone hit the backstage brawl option in 2K.
It turned into a three-way with Tony Khan, unfortunately.
Yeah, I will say about the Jack Hook match is, as far as there being real glass, as a resident GCW liker, I don't get out of bed for anything less than 3 panes of glass and 24 light tubes, so I don't understand what the huge deal is.
Will not be walking into Collision on a Friday, my friend.
Sure won't. Sure won't.
I don't know, because I think Alex, you had seats down on the floor as well. I had seats on the floor. I did see RJ City walking around interviewing people. I don't know if there's anything else notable about the pre-show. I haven't watched the show back yet. Was there anything else fun in the pre-show? I didn't know. Did you see Mercedes Moné in the pre-show?
But coming into the stadium, it was the best thing and one of the loudest pops that I heard all day. When we were queuing to get in, they played Cody Rhodes music.
Oh,
and the woa was absolutely deafening outside.
That's so funny. I hope everybody didn't sing the real words and they said something Cody Rhodes for the.
There was definitely some people singing something, but they were very loud when they were when they shouted "whoa."
So nothing else notable for the pre-show.
I did see some stuff on Twitter.
They did a signing, didn't they? For Hook and Miro.
I don't know. You tell me.
I missed that.
I don't know. I don't have any further information about that.
Love that.
I wasn't there.
Well,
I did see there was some people on Twitter. Sorry, there's people on Twitter dressed as Bray Wyatt leading a whole world in his hands sing along. Before the 0 hour
cosplay was amazing, by the way.
That's really
so
sweet.
Cool. That just shows the scale of the show. Like that never made it round to where I was. I had no idea that happened. That's really beautiful. I'm so glad that was there.
Yeah.
Well, that takes us into the main show, which started with CM Punk defeating Samoa Joe for the real World Championship,
Started.
which
he got booed out of the fucking stadium. Like it was bordering on hostile. Like there was somebody trying to get a CM Punk chant going behind me, and they stopped booing CM Punk to chant "shut the fuck up" to him.
That's funny. I had very mixed crowd around me.
I love British fans.
I had Punk fans around me who it was very mixed reaction around. It was loud, that was for sure. Nobody knew what was coming next as well. I don't know if you saw this, Alex, but when like the screens flashed, it said the next match was going to be, which now makes sense actually when I think about it. It said the next match was going to be the Young Bucks versus FTR. And now it's just clicking to me. They probably really didn't know.
Well, they actually asked the Young Bucks to go on because they were 10 minutes late, which to me, I didn't clock that it was 10 minutes late. I just thought it started on time.
I honestly, I just was like, it wouldn't surprise me if they were running late because it was such a big show. Like it didn't really occur to me.
I just assumed it was the usual production issues that AEW tend to have, to be honest. Like,
yeah. What are our thoughts on this match, if we have any? Please do.
I thought it was a good match. Like it was a good match. It was entertaining. And one of the things that I loved about this match the most was Samoa Joe has been doing this for like 20 plus years. And the fucking smile that he had on his face when he was wrestling in front of those people was just amazing to see. Like it wasn't just in character smiles; he was having a whale of a time out there.
Feeling genuine happiness.
Nice. It's so awesome that he was able to like have this huge match at this huge show because like people at WWE were writing him off. You know what I mean?
Well, he wasn't allowed to wrestle.
Yeah,
they wouldn't get cleared,
Joe never wrestled at WrestleMania at all during his time, did he?
Did he not?
He was injured for a lot of it.
Did.
Yeah, the one he was at, he was like a commentator. They had him
he was a commentator for like WrestleMania 37.
So this
was his first like proper like
moment.
this is his first stadium show.
Yeah,
that is
him. That's so crazy. Like someone like Samoa Joe getting this moment for the first time now is so nuts for me. And I think like the international crowd that were at Wembley were also so happy to see Joe.
He was getting like continuous
a lot of love
Joe,
for
Joe.
Yeah.
It was like almost throughout the entire match. Anytime he hit CM Punk, Joe. It was great.
And we'll see if the real championship will survive this. We don't know what's next. Doesn't look like we're going to see it at Chicago, but I'm sure we'll get to that. Which takes us into the trios match after this, which was Bullet Club Gold defeating the Golden Elite, which was just it was very, very special moment for me. I will let you guys share your feelings first.
Konosuke Takeshita and his knee strikes. His knee strikes are so good.
God.
Like top of like the entire industry of knee strikes. I would put him like just behind Kento Miyahara in terms of like how fucking good his knee strikes were.
He's got such mad hops. Like he can just fucking levitate. Like it's insane.
You don't like fully appreciate how athletic he is until you are seeing what he is doing in person. I don't think that the cameras fully capture that. And like it's not even just like how fast he moves, like how fluid he does everything. I don't know, like it's really impressive.
He's so he's so smooth with it, especially since he like teamed up with Don Callis. He has been like extra smooth as a heel, I find, with these tag matches, just because like it's so like high offense, like everything happening all of a sudden, where like he could just randomly just come in and just like boom knee strike, boom knee strike, boom knee strike. Okay, I gotta dip out for a bit because I'm about to get 3-on-1, and like he can just like capitalize on these like smaller moments within these tag matches. So like seeing him in like a proper heel position, like 1-on-1 and like at All Out, he was like his DDT match against Yuki Ueno was great, but I feel like him against Kenny's gonna like really show him being able to capitalize on like how athletic he can be.
Oh God, I can't wait. Yeah, he's just since he's turned, like I feel like there's a more vicious quality to like the way that he moves in these matches. Like he wrestles like more aggressively, more viciously, and I think it really kind of comes out. And because I've always thought he's just so amazing as a wrestler, and like just seeing him in this match, and then it felt really good to see Kenny and Hangman and Ibushi all in the same ring, all on the same side. It really did feel like next level special.
Hangman Page was loving it as well, by the way.
Oh,
he had a few like cheeky smiles and was like really having a great time.
He really like turned around.
There was everyone was loving it.
Everything around him. I mean, for me, like genuinely, a thing on my bucket list was to see Kota Ibushi wrestle. Like that was something I was never ever sure I was ever going to get to see in my life. I'd ever have the opportunity, especially after he is so badly injured and had to leave New Japan. And to have had that opportunity, I just feel like so lucky. I feel so so overwhelmed that we got to see this in this way with these people. I mean, there is so much history between all of those people in the ring, even though there's no way we were ever going to get that acknowledged in any sort of meaningful way in AEW. But all of these people knew each other. It was a very, very smart match to book in a way that all these people have chemistry, all these people have wrestled before, and all these people have wrestled Ibushi before, who is in a difficult position, basically has a broken foot, wrestling on, I hope he's being like, after this, taken away and put into like a Wolverine style tank to heal, because he just needs to stop for a while. They need to kidnap him and put him in whatever Florida fucking healing tanks they put Kenny in for a year so that he can fully get better, because oh my God, that guy had so much fun in that ring, even with his foot in the condition that it is. It just such a special thing. It's really amazing.
Yeah. But do you
Can
know?
He work Wrestle Dream?
Do you know what I was wondering? Huh?
Can he work Wrestle Dream first before we put him in? Can we have him work Wrestle Dream first before we put him in the tank? I really want to see him live.
I understand that feeling. I do understand. I completely understand that feeling. I can't tell you that it's not something that I would want for you. I just hope he good. I just hope he okay. He got to heal a bit before All In. There's not a lot of time between now and the next one, so I'm kind of like, please don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
But I more than anyone understand that want to see Kota Ibushi wrestle.
Yeah. If he does end up working Wrestle Dream, that's October 1st. So like that's this whole month to heal. So hopefully he would be okay. It's just kind of a thing though, is like, is he willing to work with New Japan right now?
Yes, I think he's willing to work with them through AEW. What we know is that he has no interest in working with New Japan again, nor can he. I think legally he can work for New Japan. I think that's a line drawn in the sand. Maybe something will change, but I think them having to remove all of his merch and a lot of the footage of him and things like that from the New Japan websites probably goes both ways. I am envisioning.
Yeah.
But Wrestle Dream is supposedly more of an amalgamation of different promotions. It seems like we're gonna have a lot of people from perhaps Cyberfight be involved. I'm hoping we'll have some DDT. I'm hoping we'll have some people from Stardom. I mean, that's technically New Japan.
Tony,
but go ahead.
Tony did mention in the All Out media call today that he would like to have New Japan and Stardom involved with Wrestle Dream, because it is an Antonio Inoki tribute show. So it seems like
Stardom's women, though, right?
He might not know that.
There's definitely a fear there.
Did anybody tell him?
He specifically mentioned Mercedes
that they have
Moné,
matches that are longer than 8 minutes as well, right?
I don't know that he can even conceive of such a world where that's the case. Like, surely there are some men on there who are having those matches, right? Like, it couldn't just be. That doesn't make any sense.
Listen, if I get to see Tam Nakano wrestle live, I'm okay with it.
I mean, that would be amazing. If we got like Tam versus Mercedes, like, wouldn't that be
Tam versus Mercedes? I would be down for like a Meltear match against like a women's tag team from AEW.
Yes.
Know against like Hikaru Shida. Really, I would just be down for anything with Stardom at this point. I don't know if it's gonna happen though, because I think there was mentioned that there is like a Stardom pay-per-view around the date of Wrestle Dream, because of fucking course there is. Because
they keep doing this. Rossi keeps doing this.
He cannot book a pay-per-view not head-to-head with another company for the goddamn life of him. And it's so frustrating.
Favorite hobby. It is.
He has one on this Sunday, and it's going head-to-head with the N1 finals. Like, Rossi, please, man.
Oh, God. Well,
he just can't stop.
He can't help himself. I do have to say this, just for, like, nostalgia reasons and personal reasons. This was very, very special. One of my favorite matches of the night. And I think we're all lucky and blessed to see the Golden Lovers do the cross slash, a move we may not see for a long time, and they haven't done in a very, very long time.
Was really special. I did have one question.
Go ahead.
I did have one question through that whole match that was just haunting me, and it just didn't make any sense to me, and I really needed an answer to it, which is, why is everything golden?
Why is Juice Robinson on his hands and knees?
Why is everything golden? Why is everything golden?
Everything's
golden. I don't understand. Why is everything golden? Why is
he
golden?
made a shirt.
Why gold? What golden? Why?
Blast JR. He has his finger on the pulse, doesn't he?
Made a shirt out of that. He's selling a shirt with, like, it's the logo, but it says, "Why is everything golden" on it? And I'm like, why?
Honestly, it's such a blessing to not hear that stuff when you're at a live event. It really is. It's amazing.
He called the Young Bucks versus the Golden Lovers. He called that match. He was awful in there too, but he was terrible. There. Oh my god.
In that match, it was like he said the words "Golden Lovers" together for the first time.
At least Freddie Mercury, who was in attendance at Wembley for All In, was not listening to commentary and didn't hear that call.
Stunning.
Oh yeah, he said that.
Stunning time.
Yeah.
You could hear the absolute annoyance in Excalibur's voice when he asked like, why is everything golden? And Excalibur answered with, because they're the Golden Lovers, Jim Ross. You could hear the absolute annoyance.
And listen,
he even had to answer that question.
He's taken that tone with Jim Ross quite a few times, though, to be fair.
Yeah, because even Excalibur, like, he's gotten things wrong before, made wrong calls, whatever. It's like, at least he is not out there burying the people in the ring on TV in front of fucking 80,000 people. Like, you just don't have to say those things.
You don't have to say them. Yeah. You don't have to.
You really just have to have restraint, and I imagine what would be described as being a professional.
You can just put over the wrestlers who are wrestling in the match in front of you.
Especially your baby faces.
You know, when you've got a little brother and you're playing console, like, you turn off the controller. Why don't they just give JR a headset and pretend
I've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for years.
You know those aviator headsets that the Guns had on Collision like a couple weeks ago? They try to actually plug those into the commentary desk, and we're like, why isn't this working? I had to give an actual like headsets. Just give one of those to Jim Ross. Don't plug it in. Don't let him know.
Yeah.
Give him
Put
like
on
a
like
I think that's the best for
walkie-talkie or something.
everybody.
put on a match from the 70s, ask him to commentate and turn his mic off, and then he'll be entertained for a while, you know?
Everybody will have a nicer time.
It's just
Give him flavor. Give him one of the Flair versus Steamboat matches. He won't know he called it before.
Don't put him in to commentate on matches like this, which are really just not anything for JR. This does not get JR's juices flowing, which is not a sentence I feel good about now that I've said it.
I really wish you hadn't personally, but it's out there now.
I think putting JR on commentary for a match like this
If you follow him on Twitter, we all know what gets his juices going.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not even. You don't even need to go to his likes. He'll retweet it and he'll show you.
He'll retweet it. He'll quote tweet it. He does not care.
Yeah, but anyway, moving on for the trios match. Oh no, go ahead.
Sorry, I think the worst part about this was that they replaced Taz with JR. Like, of course they had to have Nigel on commentary. That makes sense. But they had to replace Taz with JR, and then JR was on for that match, and then FTR versus the Bucks, and then they brought Tony on, and then Taz. Actually, no, I think Taz didn't even commentate the main show. I think it was just Tony the rest of the way through.
I thought Taz was on the show. I thought he was. I can't remember.
He was on the pre-show because the pre-show was him, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone. I can't remember if he worked with Nigel and Excalibur at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he might have done Joe. I think he did Joe versus Punk and then got replaced.
I mean, we hear confused commentary from JR when he's on commentary anyway. And we do get memes out of it, to be fair.
Oh, Connor's made a good point. Connor saying Don on comms for the trios match. Obviously, we could see him. I haven't watched it back.
Yes.
Did Don do anything good?
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
I'm just curious if anything was like anything memorable.
I was trying desperately not to listen to commentary, with varying degrees of success.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't absorb any of it.
Don was good. Don was good with the normal way he does it. Him and Nigel were a lot of agreeing with each other because Nigel still tries to act like he's a heel, even though everyone knows that he's a mark. But there was a few times where Don, like a pin would happen on like Takeshita or something, and Don would like get up out of his seat and like grab his headset like he's going to take it off and interfere, and then like he would kick out and he just sits back down. That happened a few times, and Excalibur mentioned it a few times, called it out like once or twice, and then Don was kind of just like, I mean, it's my guy, I can't just let him lose like that. Excalibur, come on, man. But he was really good.
The intrusive thoughts were winning. An interesting one. Connor pointing out here upon the pin at the end of the match, he was like, there we go, we just changed the world after Takeshita pinned Kenneth. Really interesting thing I think here is that I think a lot of people expected a singles match for Kenny at All In. And listen, I got to see Kota Ibushi, so it's fine, I don't mind, I'm okay with it. But this is the biggest wrestling show in history. And you would expect someone like Kenny Omega to have a singles match in an arena like this. How do we feel about, some of their biggest stars in a trios match for
this was
the biggest show of the year?
Fine.
We did address this during the preview stream last week. The rumor was him versus Danielson. The rumor was him versus Danielson, but of course Danielson got hurt, so they kind of just threw him in a 6-man tag.
Fine, like this was a fun match though.
Like, oh yeah,
like I don't know. I spoke to quite a few people around me on the day on the train as well. There were a lot of wrestling fans, but only like not everyone was an AEW fan. A lot of people were asking me if I watched WWE. I had to politely say no. And
I mean, listen, there will be
And,
lots
like,
and lots of people there who will just be there because it's a wrestling show, and the only thing
yeah,
they've ever
and
really
like
watched is WWE.
this was their first exposure to it, so like they got to see this really fun match that happened early on in the show, and like it was a hook for the rest of it, right? I mean, if you're trying to introduce people to wrestling, you don't show them Kenny Omega versus Okada or any of his 60-minute matches. You try to break them in with more fun matches.
Yeah.
And
sure.
of which this
And
was definitely one.
Yeah, I also touched on this as well with the previous stream last week about like this was a really good show for exposure in terms of getting a lot of people on the card, because it also showed like the versatility and like all the different styles that AEW has. Because like even like with this match, it was a lot of like stiff strikes and like everything going around. There's Stadium Stampede, which was it's like hardcore wrestling. There was the main event, which was like the storytelling elements. There was FTR versus the Bucks, which is like what should be the tag team element of AEW all the time. And there's just like so much versatility on the show. I am having a stroke trying to say that word. That it's like just showcased so much of AEW, and of course you're not gonna like that was from the get-go. Soon to me, as soon as they hit like 65,000, that it was not all AEW fans. It was just going to be people who were like, oh hey, wrestling show in Wembley Stadium, let's go to that, that'd be a cool thing to see. And they capitalized on that really good with the card they had. I don't think it would have had the same effect if you gave a bunch of singles matches that were running like 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, talking of the tag match, the following match was FTR defeating the Young Bucks to retain the AEW World Tag Team Championships. I don't know about you guys, but like going from like the trios match into this, I was like, whoa, like the energy, it was a lot for me. I thought like, wow, these are two very big matches that like require a lot of my energy one after another. I thought there would be something in between it. What a crazy match. What's super fun. I really didn't know who was walking away with the belts here. I did feel like the Bucks were quite mean leading up to it. I also good. I think they said a lot of truths. I think harsh truths, and I was like, ooh, that's actually quite mean. I think they might lose, but I wasn't too sure. I thought that would be a nice big moment to happen at Wembley. How do we feel about this match? I'm gonna go straight over to MX because they are the resident Young Bucks stan, and we simply must hear from them.
I am the Young Bucks stan. I was pretty clear last time we did this podcast that I didn't think that this match should happen. I continue to feel that way. Today the match was good. You know what I mean? But like I do think my discontent with FTR and some of the choices that they have made may have colored my enjoyment of this a little bit. Sure. I kind of liked that they just sort of like left FTR without shaking their hands. I actually like heel Young Bucks who don't respect anybody in the ring. That always like amuses me. I love that version of them. So like the idea that this was like sort of like the start of a return to form as like things start happening around them was really appealing to me. And now they're teaming with FTR. So I know no rest.
Quite the loop for you.
And
I think it got worse for you. I think it's gotten worse for you. I think this is the worst outcome for you.
I mean, you know, the worst outcome is that they're not here and they're not wrestling, right? So it's not the worst
apart from that, because that's the worst outcome for everybody everywhere.
I would prefer the Young Bucks for All Out be involved with a team that I do like. That would be my preference. But I'm not gonna be a hater. The match will be fine. I'm interested in like some Bullet Club Gold elite shenanigans.
Yeah,
they better Superkick Card Blade.
Yeah. Oh god. That would be
not Card Blade. Leave Card Blade out of this.
They'll murder Cardblade.
He did nothing wrong.
How did it land for you, Libby? Sorry.
The what?
How did the match land for you when you were there?
So I how do I describe how I feel about FTR? I do not want to hear them speak very much. They don't do anything, but when they wrestle, they do interest me. I really enjoy what they're capable of. I enjoy, depending on who they wrestle, when I think about FTR versus Aussie Open at Royal Quest 2, just incredible match. And it takes 4 to tango in this case. For me, FTR is all about who they're with. If you told me FTR were wrestling, I would go, who are they wrestling? It wouldn't be enough for me to just watch FTR. So this match really interested me in terms of how heated it was. There's a part of that that's kind of, I guess, real for them, but obviously they must have buried the hatchet enough for, you know, them to team all together. And also kind of the kayfabe element of, you know, these two teams have a lot of history, very, very, very heated, almost kind of bitchy energy between them, which I just love. I just love to see that. And so I was very, very interested to see how this would play out, what they would do, what callbacks they would make, which they did a couple. I really enjoyed the close pinfalls. They kept sort of subverting us at the end. The energy, expelling the energy for this was really hard. I don't know about you, Alex, but where I was for the beginning of the match in the crowd, we were all quite exhausted from the trios match. Bearing in mind, I was literally like jumping up, like, and screaming every time something happened in the trios match with Ibushi. But like, it was very difficult to carry the energy from the trios match before into this match. We all kind of like needed a minute, so it took us like, I don't know, a good, I don't even know how it was, but I needed some time to get the energy up again.
I was fine, but like, as shocking as this may be, I was not jumping up and down. Like, I was more interested in this as a match than I was in the opener. So like, I guess I was a bit more chill, but I didn't think this was a great match. I don't know. It just didn't. I felt that like that like Dax in particular was kind of like either not communicating well or struggling to keep up.
There was kind of a messy bit with Matt,
the
where
northern,
it felt
like suplexes.
Yeah, it felt like Dax. It felt like Matt was trying to do the Northern Light suplexes, and Dax was kind of he kept like pivoting around, like he didn't know what was happening.
I don't know if he was sandbagging, because that didn't look
I don't
necessarily
think so.
to me like it was sandbagging. I think that there was miscommunication, but like it looked to me like they'd agreed on a power spot. And like, you know, like the dangle back suplexes where like they struggle to lift and then he does it anyway. That's what it looked a little bit like to me. But I don't know, like I thought it was a good match. I don't think it was their best match. But the crowd kept me more engaged than anything, because holy shit was Cash Wheeler getting some pelters.
That was a lot. There was a lot going on.
So many good ones.
I mean, there was a part of me that did wonder. I was like, can Tony keep
He was shook by some of the things that was going on. Like, I caught him like shooting a look at the crowd, because when Nick caught him with a super kick, someone just shouted, "You need to be faster on the draw." And like,
oh god.
That one sign, Fear the Revolver, I read somewhere, I think, allegedly it got confiscated, which is interesting to me.
I didn't see it getting removed, but then I don't suppose it would like pop up after the FTR match, would it?
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite sign of the night, going back a bit, but in like the first sign I saw of the night was somebody was holding up a sign that said Pepsi is a soft drink. And I was like, nothing tops that sign for me for the whole night. That is the best one. You cannot tell me anything's better than that.
There were some funny CM Punk signs.
There was, yeah. But
there were some good ones on Dynamite as well.
Fusa, what did you think of this match?
I'm just glad Freddie Mercury was there to see it live.
There's 2 of them.
No, that's a JR reference again.
Oh, really?
When the Bucks when the Bucks made their entrance with the Freddie Mercury attire, JR said, "Is Freddie Mercury here tonight?"
He
did.
And then
Real?
Excalibur answered, once again, super annoyed. "No, Jim Ross. Freddie Mercury died in 1993 from AIDS."
Well, what he said was no, Freddie Mercury has been dead for quite some time. Is I think what he said.
I thought he dropped like the officially, like the actual like
that
year.
That would be funny if he felt he needed to specify the year.
I'm
pretty sure he's like, no, it's
so funny. Hi Simon in the chat, by the way. Hello.
Hi Simon.
Hello Simon in the chat. This match for me was also pretty good. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was dozing off a little bit because at this point I think it was about 11 a.m. And the night before I watched the N1 victory because it was the second to last night of it was the last night of the blocks. So I was up until like 5 a.m. and then slept for like 3 hours.
A quick power nap.
And then watched it all in. Power nap in the middle of it, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So I was kind of dozing off a bit during this match, so about the middle section was the least I remember. I woke up.
Right.
Well, I like kind of like came more to consciousness about, I think it was when they started doing more of the callback stuff, like when Dax went for the 450 again and missed, and then like that stuff. Like I think it was about like in the last like 10 minutes or so. That's when I like was like fully like invested in the match. From that spread, I thought it was very good. Not super much of a fan of FTR retaining, especially after everything that happened. I really think the Bucks should have won. Especially after I went back and watched that director's cut that MX mentioned last week of the sit down interview between the 4 of them. When you mentioned that Dax took off the mic, and like got like really like bitchy, I thought you meant like he got into the Bucks' face or something. He just fucking took off the mic, like was like, I'm done with this. Took off the mics and like took it out from under his shirt and then just sat back down. He didn't storm off or anything. He just sat back down. And I was like, what are you doing, man? At least storm off the sets. Don't just sit down and just like cross your arms and all. So it was like they got buried. They got buried on live TV. They got buried on the YouTube director's cut of the interview, and then everything that happened with FTR hairpin trigger. You think that like it was just like they were going to lose, and then they retained, and it's like, no, don't retain. And then the like post, like MX mentioned with the post match, not handshake. Are you saying something, Alex?
I don't know what my mic was doing there. I was saying, they'd retain because if you're friends with Punk and AEW, it's a consequence-free zone for you. Like,
whoa, shots fired.
Like
I saw your lips moving, but like, sounds.
For Friends of Punk, they sure are working with the Young Bucks a whole lot lately.
It's this is very, very interesting part of it.
Really interesting how they're doing that.
The I don't know, the talk is, funny enough, more than ever, once again, things are leaking backstage again from AEW. Surprise, surprise. And we don't really know what's going on, but we've always been kind of fed this idea of these people are on Dynamite and these people are on Collision, and the idea is that, Punk and FTR and the Elite they're supposedly supposed to kind of be kept apart from, their own, I imagine, mental well-being or whatever. They don't necessarily get on, things happen, blah blah blah. The Young Bucks and FTR are not only having matches, they're teaming up. So
they're teaming up together.
It's very, very interesting, this idea that we've been told that they have to be separated for whatever reason.
CM Punk that needs to be separated, though, isn't it? It's not empty.
Maybe so, maybe this whole, a lot of people maybe FTR are being pulled into something really that and the Young Bucks, aren't interested in any kind of feud. They just want to work and do a good job and get on with people. FTR might be exactly the same. And we've, all of this backstage talk that leaks out through XYZ on Twitter, wrestling outlet you have heard of, wrestling outlet you've never heard of, one in the middle. It comes out of all these different places. Like it's really, we don't really know what the situation is, and it sort of feels like who's saying what and where and why. It's
very... yeah. And you know what? CM Punk is an adult, and if his friends are going to be working with people that he absolutely hates, I'm sure he'll respond to that reasonably and measured and not like overreact about people just doing business, right? Like it's all about doing business.
Yeah,
they're just doing some business. It's not a big deal. I'm sure he'll understand.
Yeah, Punk's Punk is a very well-mannered individual who's very professional and certainly won't try to choke out one of his coworkers.
That should have been Jack Perry's excuse that he was just trying to run a business and sell tickets.
I own a glass and window business now, so like just really gotta get that going as well. Yeah.
It's real glass, just like my real business about cleaning real glass. Get off my back, Phil.
Well, with Jack Perry's new glass business taking off the ground, we're moving in to a sort of our most violent match of the night, which was our Stadium Stampede in Wembley, which I thought was a very, very fun.
I was so mad at this. I was expecting a Stadium Stampede that's normal, so I fucked off to the beer place.
Were you hoping to? You were hoping to either get caught in the action or not.
What do you?
No, I wasn't. I was like, this is my time to go get a beer, go to the toilet, and then when I came back, they were all in the ring, and I was like, that never fucking happens.
It actually started in the ring, which I thought was clever. So I mean, I'm assuming we all enjoyed the first Stadium Stampede here. Would I be correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Alex is mildly nodding. Okay, sure. You know I have to have fun, Alex.
No, we know this.
I'm a Stadium Stampede defender through and through.
I'm a huge Stadium Stampede defender. I didn't even know that it needed defending. Like it was just good. I don't know.
Some people are just not fun. Alex, if you could.
I can't hear you.
Like, you're not fun. Can you hear me now? Second one. Didn't really hit. Second one, Alex, did that hit for you or?
It was fine. Yeah, like I don't dislike it. It's fine.
Okay.
Like I enjoy the memes that came out of it. Sammy Guevara getting chased
MX, what did you think of the second one?
I feel like the first Stadium Stampede was such a product of what was going on at the time. You know, it was pretty early on in lockdown. Emotions were pretty, like people were going through like a lot of stuff emotionally speaking. A lot of things were up in the air. A lot of things felt really uncertain, and they kind of put this thing together that was just like this bright little ray of sunshine in like all of this dark. And they were like, all right, well, we can't, we're not performing in front of crowds and we don't have this, that, and the other. So like, we need to get creative with what we have. And that's what the first Stadium Stampede is for me, is like them, having this really difficult time, these really difficult set of circumstances, and taking a look at what they had available to them and just being really, 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 really creative. So the second Stadium Stampede did not hit as much for me. Is it because the Elite weren't in it? Maybe. Probably. Is it because, they had fans back at that point, right? So I think that they did. So, the circumstances that had, So the circumstances
All in 2021 was the first pay-per-view.
Yeah, so the circumstances that had created the first Stadium Stampede were no longer in process, and it just kind of felt like a little derivative. It felt like it didn't do anything different. To me personally, like it was lots of fun, and if you like, Jericho's folks, I can't remember which one they were on at that moment.
They were the Inner Circle.
It was still the Inner Circle. Okay. Like, and if, and if you're like if you're into them, like I'm sure it's tons of fun. It just didn't really super hit for me. And this one,
we all loved the Pinnacle, didn't we? Remember the Pinnacle, everyone? Remember the Pinnacle?
That was a good time.
I do not remember the Pinnacle, actually. So this one, obviously I loved it. Like, obviously I loved the teams involved. I really liked the story that was being told. You know, it was like really violent. There were lots of like really cool like moments and bits, iconic photos taken of this event.
The last one of Eddie and Mox at the end,
Eddie, like,
collapsing into each other,
Eddie just like
covered in blood over a folded table. I hope that's framed in their homes. I hope Mox and Renee
like
have
the two of them cuddling brothers.
Like, the two of them cuddling together, and Eddie's just like this as they're cuddling.
It's like them in an image. It just, if you ever need to describe who these two people are and what their relationship is,
that image,
there it is.
That image, that's it. So because of that, because I loved it, also that final parting shot of like Chuck dragging a limping Orange Cassidy's arm over his shoulder as like they limp out of the ring, and then Trent on the other side, like iconic. Which is why I feel a little bad for saying, isn't this just an anarchy in the arena?
Yes. What I think is that
without the sensory torture.
Well, yeah.
Without the weird underground club.
Super kick this time.
Yeah. So
what I think they have learned is, you know, the first Stadium Stampede, I think, is incredible. Not only is it fun, it's emotional, it's intelligent, it's like a little piece of cinema. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is they learn, you know, you cannot have a whole live audience in attendance and have the whole thing happen outside of the ring for it to end in the ring, because you see nothing. You're just watching people go around a building doing whatever they can and be found in unsettling places as well. And so what I think they have learned is that actually Stadium Stampede cannot be replicated in any way. What it really always needs to be going forward is anarchy in the arena. And like you said, I think essentially that's what that was, and it worked much better for it. And it works much better when you take a team like the Blackpool Combat Club and have them do violent things in wacky places and do these spots. Like it just works a lot better. It felt like this found a good middle of what this can do going forward, because the second time it really didn't work, and the third time I feel like it did. That's because it blended itself with another format that they have created.
I'm kind of two minds, right? Because I'm like, if it's an anarchy in the arena, just call it an anarchy in the arena. But like, this is like Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
And so like, of course you want to have like a match that's called Stadium Stampede at Wembley Stadium. And like, I was saying that too at the time. So like, I'm not complaining, but you know, and Libby, like, I think you're right. Like when you're talking about, and Alex and Jamie were right beforehand when we were talking about this on the lead-in. Like, I was kind of envisioning a Stadium Stampede that was a little bit like the first Stadium Stampede, in that, like, a very creative usage of space, right? A very creative usage of environment. They're in a unique environment. They're in an iconic environment. And, like, what can they do with this creative usage of space? Part of that problem is that Daly's Place belongs to Tony, and they can do whatever they want. And going to a place like Wembley or any other place, like, there are rules about what they can use and what they can't use.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Wembley put a lot of restrictions on what they were allowed to do for the Stadium Stampede.
There is as well. Like, Wembley has filming rooms. There's like a locker room that they have that, like, show when, like, you know, TV shows like a Ted Lasso has like a locker room they can film in. You know,
is that how that's pronounced?
Those places.
I always thought it was Ted Lasso.
You know what?
Ted Lasso.
It's probably.
I think she's saying it right. It's just the accent.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That
It's
was really
What did you say to
irrelevant.
her? It's just the
you as the American definitely says it right. I, as not the
Okay.
American, definitely says it wrong. But they do have like filming spaces because Wembley's also very fucking big. It's huge, and I think to have utilized like the iconic spaces, like like there's the England like locker room and stuff. I don't think they could fucking get around there quick enough and back to the ring. I think we would have to see some good golf cart action maybe to do that. And I think
they would need to borrow Hangman's horse.
Yeah, exactly. That would
yeah, bring the horse back.
But I do think, like, logistically, them going into the seats was probably as much as they could do with just the sheer amount of distance they have to travel in the stadium. Yeah, I think I maybe expected too much. I was like, well, there's so many things I could do at Wembley.
I did too.
And I was like, why did I think that was going to happen? But it was kind of
it
nice.
was an excellent match. It was like an excellent match is the thing. And like there were so many character beats, like Eddie Kingston coming in and just gunning straight for Claudio. Like that was just, like really good. And like there were so many
I
like
love how he did twice as well.
Yeah.
He did it twice, which is even more funny.
So
I also love that like the like the skewer spot that wasn't in some random room somewhere with nobody around. That was like in the ring in front of us. Like I'm glad
iconic.
It's so iconic. I'm so
I really
glad
wish they took the wrapper off first.
Oh really? I kind of loved how it just like as it let go, it spooled out.
That was fantastic.
There was a white wrapper around the skewers, but I think it was Orange Cassidy put in his head. He didn't take it off first, so when he put it into Mox's head, the entire bundle was just there, and then it came out, and there's only like 4 skewers. So it did work the same as supposed to.
I loved it. The way they kind of cascaded out, I thought was so iconic when he moved.
Oh yeah, I think
it's still great.
I do think Penta. I think it was Penta who did it. I do think
Penta?
It was. Yeah.
He forgot to take the wrapper off.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I feel bad, but I'm on Libby's side. Like it created such a moment, like such a series of visuals.
Yeah, it was. There are a lot of people. I think as well.
There.
Yeah.
Usually when you start like when the wrapper's off as well, once you start hitting the bundle, a lot of them kind of go flying already. But to see that whole unit go in Mox's head, everyone, I mean, I've exposed myself before. I love violin wrestling. It's great. Everyone around me was like, oh God. Oh, when they all came out, they were like, oh, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, Libby and I are the psychos. We're the psychos and we live for this shit.
It was
I love death matches as well.
It was so
deathmatch
good.
wrestling is like one of my favorite things as well.
It's an art. It's an art form. To be able to do it and make it meaningful is takes a whole nother type of brain. And what a cool spot as well with the orange punch with the glass and like setting up for that.
Really
I thought that was so well done.
Out of anyone in that match to introduce like the Taipei deathmatch elements, Orange Cassidy was like the last guy. I would expect this from like Moxley to be introduced that, but Orange Cassidy of all people,
I think that's that's why it hit. That's why it felt like it's very satisfying.
Also, there's one thing that we just completely have glossed over with this. Why aren't we talking about Sue?
Why aren't we talking about Sue?
Why aren't we talking about Sue and her baked goods?
True. Bestie,
oh my
you
God.
are correct and true and honest. Incredible. I love the fact that they rented a minivan to do this as well. Like they were prepared. They knew what they wanted. 2, Mox kissing Sue was so fucking funny.
God.
And And 3, shout out to the catering staff that made all that food that Sue supposedly brought. That supposedly Sue had like made in America, flown over, got like in the van, put it on trays. Like the mum law is like is ridiculous. There, the fact that they went with that.
Yeah,
Sue.
So
I have
funny.
Sue driving middle finger out the window.
Back in a second.
I have
Go
seen
ahead,
people complain about the inclusion of Sue in all of these various moments.
Fuck those
and they
people.
are wrong. Those people are incorrect.
Fuck those people.
For
yeah.
what
No one
are their
complains about Sue.
reasons? Why
No.
do they not like Sue?
Too silly. You understand? Wrestling is a very serious
Oh.
sport. You understand?
Oh.
For very serious people, and we can't have any fun or any silliness whatsoever. It's illegal. It's actually illegal to have fun at a wrestling show.
Are the people
I know. I didn't know it
match
either.
aware of the match they were watching? Like,
yeah, it's
are
like
they aware of
you're
the
watching
match
a
they were
show.
watching?
The match is called Stadium Stampede. Like, it's stupid. The premise is stupid. What else are you gonna?
There is an element of like deliberate ignorance to the way that people talk about some of these elements, because like you can talk about things like, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit more when we talk about the main event, but because wrestling is more theater than it is fighting, things such as themes and motifs actually are important, and like in the universe of wrestling have power all on their own, right? I was actually not being facetious when I say that Better Than You Baby won with the power of friendship, right? Because like that is what that is, because properly they should not have lost to an established tag team, but because there is so much meaning and intensity to that pairing, that meaning and intensity translates to wrestling matches. That's like what they're all about. Like all of the great ones that have all of these story elements, like the power of themes and motifs are like very important. So Sue is a motif in The Best Friends, right? And to call back to her is like an intention to detail and sort of ties their whole story together. But the people who are mad that the wrestling isn't serious enough don't want to hear that, because it's not about storytelling or soft bullshit like that. It's about like two meaty men slapping meat, right? And if it's not that, it's incorrect. Is the vibe that I have been getting. And I think
there was
anyway, I'm repeating myself.
There was someone on Twitter that made a joke about how it's so miraculous that Sue has a British driving license. And there were some people who were actually kind of serious about it. Like, wait, yeah, how does Sue have a British driving license? How did she get so quickly?
Oh my God, it doesn't matter.
Guys, well, for starters, it doesn't matter. Two, you can rent cars. There's a thing called renting cars. You can rent a car, guys. That's how people get around in other countries and cities.
If you're watching wrestling and your thought watching this match is, how did Sue get a driver's license? Genuinely, I genuinely don't think wrestling's for you. I don't think this is going to be something you enjoy, because if you're worried about things not making sense and nonsense,
there was a fucking dinosaur on this show, and they're worried about a license.
You're in for a treat. My one criticism of this match was that there was a lot going on, and I have to be honest, I didn't quite know where to look when things were happening. I was just kind of having to
production had the same problem.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I just had to listen to like where, and I was just like looking around, because obviously like it's fucking huge. Okay, Wembley's fucking huge, and we were like looking around the arena trying to spot where they were in the seats, and because of this as well, because we were kind of like trying to work out what was going on, when it was like Penti Oscuro came out, we were all like, oh, it was something that should have been really cool, but we were like, wait, who? Oh yeah, he has another guy, and then but we were just looking up there, and then all of a sudden it was like boom, and we were like, who the fuck's coming out? Like, what? And then we were like, it's Penta. Penta was already in the match. Hang on.
Yeah.
Wait,
Penta's back. Why is Penta back?
What was happening. We were like, oh, okay, it's Penta Oscuro. Okay. And then they did the really cool spot, but it was very much us trying to work out where things were happening, what was happening. And I feel like Penta didn't really get, it was like, I don't know about you, Alex, but it was like silence in my section when that happened, because we were all like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Penta when did Penta leave? I don't remember.
That really confused me, because I was like, who's debuting? And then
Yeah.
Penta came out, and I was like, what the fuck?
Wait, Penta again. Wait a
He's
minute.
been here for a while, last I checked.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
That was another thing with production as well on our end, because to be completely honest, if it wasn't for the Discord link on the Twitter, I would not have known that Penta was taken out of the match. He got pile driven on a chair by Moxley, and he got taken out of the match by doctors. Yeah, I think this was when like Yuta, Yuta and Claudio and Eddie were fighting up in the seats. So he got pile driven on a chair by Moxley, got taken out of the match, and then that's when he returns Penta Oscuro. If it wasn't for the Discord saying that, like, oh shit, Penta might be hurt, then I would not have known that he was taken out of the match. I would just been like, oh, Penta's back and he's red now. Okay.
Red Penta. Yeah, I genuinely.
Wait, he changed his attire.
Yeah, he went from black and white to red.
Who was red?
That's how you know he went from Penta El Zero Miedo to Penta Oscuro, because it's a different tire change.
Yeah. But none of the stuff we recognize Penta Oscuro for, which is like, you know, like
the
he pops out
the
from
graves.
under the what the fuck, a gravestone. I forgot what a gravestone was.
Gravestone, the shovel,
the death stone. But yeah, I felt like unfortunately that I kind of flopped because we were just lost and I didn't even know Penta was gone. But otherwise,
ultimately though, I'm glad they did this match, because
that's good.
I don't know about when you were, Alex, but at the beginning of the match, because everyone was expecting Mox to walk in, obviously, like on the floor, like everyone around me, like ran out of their seats to try and like find where Mox was going to be, and I was like,
you can see it in their entrance. Everyone just like mobs round them when they're doing their entrance. I was like, I'm gonna walk past you in a second. Club. Calm fucking down.
Right.
Also,
that takes us onto. Oh, go on.
Sorry, one last point. Can we please get AEW some good ladders? Because like they have such shitty ladders. Penta tried to climb up the ladder to deliver the Swanton onto Ortiz. Yeah. The ladder broke. There was the ladder match between Wardlow and Christian Cage. The ladder broke. Can we please get AEW some actual good ladders that aren't going to break so easily?
You know, maybe they came. There were some Rev Pro guys in that match when I think it was Eddie was up in a room. He attacked some guys. Those guys from Rev Pro. They may have been some Rev Pro ladders. Because
so you're saying there are Rev Pro ladders?
I just don't feel like AEW is flying over ladders. Maybe they were. Maybe that's why. But there is a chance that the ladders didn't belong to them. I don't know. Maybe they did fly over ladders. I don't know. But there's a chance perhaps they got those brought in locally. I don't know. So
they had to have had ladders. How else would they have gone to lighting? They had to have had ladders. How else are you going to get all the lane rig up and everything?
That's true. I imagine Wembley has some ladders for safety and things.
Wembley had to have ladders too. Yeah.
Well, who knows? But maybe they were Rev Pro ladders. I don't know. But either way, AEW, you're on ladder watch. Who knows? But that brings us to the women's match. All 8 minutes of it. My section nearly cleared out for this when this started. It was a horrible feeling. Quite disappointing, to be honest.
Sections, everyone stayed and. Like,
well, that's good.
We were fucking loud. Like, but my section was a very Shida heavy section.
Yeah, I mean, me and my friends were bringing the Shida love for sure. This match is an interesting one. I would like to ask how you guys.
I'm never giving Tony Khan any credit ever again.
All right.
Never
So,
again. Never again
right.
am I giving him a shred
Sorry,
of
before-
credit.
before I
Never
talk-
again am I giving him the benefit of the doubt. Never again am I ascribing any sort of intelligence or logic to that man. I'm furious. I'm furious. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
A few
Before I
months
talk about this
ago,
match, I
when
need to I just need-
Shida won the championship, I said to MX, I was like, "Do you think that she has been given the championship
good.
so that she can
good.
be a transitional championship for Saraya?" And MX's reply was, "Even I don't think that little of Tony Khan." I was like,
That was my reply. That was
You had to
exactly
be-
my reply.
you
Even
were a
I
full
don't
MX.
think that little of Tony Khan. I will never trust or give him any credit ever again. Never again. This is
It
my
I take
last
kind of
straw.
great joy in saying "aged like milk" to that, though.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
there was
You just had to twist that knife just a little bit more, didn't you?
it
Yep.
is not a 1-for-1 exchange in terms of having Jamie Hayter win back the championship or retain the championship at Wembley as it is for Saraya winning the championship. I'm certainly no Saraya hater in any way, but it does not hit the same. It does not feel fair. I kind of anticipated it. I didn't trust what was
This
happening
is
with
not
Shida, but
this is not about
not
Saraya, right?
This-
It's not about Saraya. Like
except it was. That was the whole point of this match.
But no,
in the
because like
end.
I would have been equal. For me, it's about Shida. For me,
Yeah.
it's like I would be equally
Oh, yeah.
furious if it was any other one of those women in that match, because Shida deserves better than to be a transitional champion.
Of course,
Like
of course.
if
100%.
they kept it, because if they kept it on Tony and had Saraya get it off of Tony, I would have been fine. I would have been fine with that. Like, it would have been like, whatever. I'm not a Saraya hater. Like, I really like her, actually. And I know a lot of other people don't. And, whatever. I don't know. But, like, I do. And I think it would be fun. I think she's a good entertainer. I think she would be a great, like, heel and, like, have a fun heel champ run. Like, that's not my problem. My problem is, like, don't fucking do Shida dirty like that. What's wrong with you? I'm furious.
Yeah, this took me out of the next match as well. Like, it was one of those where I was genuinely I was flabbergasted. Although I did expect it,
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I was still like, I can't actually believe he really fucking did that. Like, and my entire section was like this. The reaction in the arena, I don't know what it was like with you, but like, it was a weird reaction. Like, it wasn't. She didn't immediately get like a home crowd pop for winning the championship. There seemed to be like it kind of came after it when she was on the monitor and you could see how much it meant to her. Everyone was kind of like, all right, cool, this is nice to see, but there was no pop. It was like fucking crickets.
It was hard to like the finish. Obviously they were I put in very heavy quotation marks, protect Shida or protect Britt or whatever. Like I
Good
like
job.
the fact that there was like two finishes going on at the same time meant that I didn't even realize what was happening, and then I was like,
I thought it was a double fall. I thought that they had both won it.
Yeah.
You know what? That also makes sense, because I think we all expected this match to be longer than 8 minutes. I think everyone was
Women only get 8
hoping. minutes
in AEW. That's it.
I
You
can't
get 8
believe it's
minutes.
carried through to Wembley. Yeah, I wish if this was always destined to happen, I wish we could have had a bit more of a build for her to take the championship. If this, for me, it doesn't hit enough that we're in the UK and she's from the UK for her to win. Maybe if we had told some story about how much she wanted to get there, or how she was taking everyone down to get there, how she was fucking up Tony to even get there, before we were in this situation, it would have interested me a lot more.
Like, this to me feels like the ending that we were supposed to get to the Outcast story, but when we can't like, not all of it was his fault because of injuries and stuff like that, but we see how he pivots when Danielson gets injured, so it is his fault still. But like, he just forgot to put all of the story in between the beginning and the end, right?
Yeah.
So this makes no fucking sense. All this it ended feeling like a cheap attempt at getting a home crowd pop that ultimately didn't work because it was a abysmally executed finish, and people seemed genuinely pissed off that Shida was done like that.
It's definitely justice for Shida is definitely the story of this match.
I think he miscalculated with it, to be honest. Like, I think he thought that he would get the pop, and I
Yes.
don't think that he was expecting there to be a lot of anger online about it. And it wasn't aimed at Saraya; it was aimed at him. Like,
yeah, there was definitely. I definitely saw. I saw a mix of people.
If he didn't expect there to be anger online, then he did not see what people are saying about Saraya. Because there were tweets as far as like Collision on Saturday. There was people tweeting the gif of Joe rushing the ring after the main event and choking out Punk, and people being like, "This will be me on Sunday if Saraya wins a women's title." Like, if he thinks that was not going to be, if he thinks that was not going to be the reaction of the people online, then he does not fucking know the online community. I have genuinely not
on that. I will push back on that a little bit, actually, because as the resident Young Buck fan, if you are going by unhinged tweets and gifs to gauge the crowd reaction, you're often not correct. Like, people so I think it is important to kind of be on the pulse of like what the discussions are, but like also like some people are just like very, very, very loud and very, very, very nasty, and you kind of have to ignore them. So on that,
CM Punk fans.
Yeah. So on that, like, but like I also think that one of the main blind spots of like people who have been in wrestling too long is underestimating like the way that crowds interact with sort of like the meta narrative of wrestling, by which I mean people know, like, we're not engaging in the kayfabe of Shida getting the belt, right? Because first of all, there is no kayfabe, there is no story, right? But people are behind Shida, and people are engaging in the reality that she was an amazing women's world champ in the hardest time to be a champion, and they are engaging in the fact that look at what happened with Jon Moxley, and now look at what happened with Shida. And we wanted like this moment for Shida because like we feel that injustice, and like we want it to be better. And I think sometimes people underestimate the way that fans just kind of want good things for people.
Weird,
and like
right?
they
because
want
Tony Khan's terminally online, so like
yes.
I don't
We
understand.
all have different Twitter feeds.
I don't understand how this passed him by, or it didn't, and he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, I think this is this will be a match I think everyone will remember for, you know, for better or worse. It'll always be an important part of All In.
Sorry, I just want to quickly voice my opinion on the match. First thing, the people that were tweeting like the Samoa Joe gif, those were jokes. Like, those are the kind of people I follow. I knew they were a joke. They weren't actually like legitimately serious about that. As for the match itself, I have not genuinely been this pissed off about a result since Roman beat Cody at WrestleMania. Like, this year, I've been pretty calm about like match results in terms of like people winning stuff. This one, I legitimately was like, what the fuck? Why? This is the stupidest result you could have picked out of everyone in that match, except for maybe Britt. Even then, at least Britt can fucking work in a proper singles match. Like, what was the point of giving Shida the title other than to say, look, guys, Shida has a reign in front of actual fans. See, we did it. We listened. We did it, guys. Like, other than that, there was no fucking point, and you could just left the belt on Tony if you were just going to give it to Rhea. And
it was so that
like
they
you
could
said,
put
there
a
was
couple of women's main events on Dynamite, and then Tony could go, look, we put some main events on the women. This is great, eh?
look, guys, Shida has a women's title reign in front of fans, and she's main eventing. Isn't she such a good champion, even though she defended the belt one fucking time before she lost it? Wow! Like, it was so
deliberate
pointless to give the belt.
with which Tony specifically like treats like the women's division and like discussions around the women's division is like really, really obvious. Like, Tony, like, come on, like, we all know, like, when you had like Britt Baker come out for a 90-second match on Blood and Guts, like, you weren't fooling anyone, and like people remain unfooled. Like, I don't know why you like suddenly think that this is like, maybe it would work for him because he fundamentally doesn't care.
There was something that he said that was really telling in the post pay-per-view conference so somebody asked him why there was only one women's match on the card. I can't remember the exact phrasing, and I can't remember exactly what his response was, but it essentially boiled down to he was struggling to get people on the card. And why is it always the women that have to leave the card?
Yeah,
like,
I saw.
Why
that,
is it that? Why is it always like Chris Statlander's been fucking killing it as champion? She's been no less workhorsey than Orange Cassidy recently. Like, so why are they on? Like, I know that the Young Bucks were in the match, but why did FTR get to keep their spot on the card after Cash's fucking gun crime? But women had to give up a place so that he could make more space for men on the card. You can't hide behind like what he's doing.
I remember actually, like, that was, I didn't watch the press conference afterwards because I left my house like right after the pay-per-view ended, but I remember seeing that on my Twitter feed the night after, and you could see him doing the fucking Matrix level dodging of that question, because oh my god, him just being like, well, I mean, he didn't answer it. Matrix level dodging, because it was like, well, we're gonna have Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho on for the TBS title on All Out, and we have like great women's matches on Dynamite, great on Rampage and Collision. It's like, answer the fucking question, guy. Yeah, you have one women's match on All Out, but that doesn't explain why there was only one women's match on All In, and also it doesn't explain why there's only fucking one women's match on All Out as well. There's no other women's matches on that card as of right now, unless they announce something for like on Collision or Rampage tomorrow. It's only Statlander versus Soho. No other women's matches. And he said, like, saying it's like, oh, like maybe like we might get Saraya on the card if she ends up getting cleared. It's like, well, she wasn't hurrying after that 8-minute long match, which was 4 women, and she did like maybe 3 minutes of wrestling. So yeah, get her on the fucking card, guy.
Well, to get to All Out, we've got to get through the other matches for All In. This is a very infuriating situation for sure, but we've got to move on. I feel the pain for sure. I could also talk about this for hours and hours, but we do need to move on to the next match, which was Darby Allin and Sting defeating Christian Cage and Swerve Strickland. I think this was very much needed after such a weird feeling after the women's match. I didn't think I would enjoy this, and I loved this match so much. And really special entrance for Sting. How is it for you guys?
Seek and destroy. Not expecting it, especially with all the shit all the shit that's well known about Metallica with their like copyright and everything, to the point that they got their own Twitch stream copyright because they were playing their own music. I would not have like expected a Metallica song to like appear on a pay-per-view like this. Like, Tony,
I think
like really threw out the bag for this pay-per-view.
I don't know about
in terms of music, like
the pay-per-view on Fight, but I know people who bought it on YouTube. They didn't actually own the pay-per-view. People who bought it on YouTube had it for a certain amount of days.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know if that has something to come into it. It wasn't like
you do own it on Fight.
You do own it on Fight. Okay.
Yeah. Unlimited replays on
out the
Fight.
big bucks.
It
Yeah, I have the
probably won't
entire
make it
like
to the DVD
archive
though,
of
will
fight
it?
storyline.
Yeah,
No,
just be a
it's good.
silent portion.
Like
But
they're
what do
gonna
we
take
think
off
of the
Final
match?
Countdown. They're gonna take off We Will Rock You. They take off Seek and Destroy. They're not gonna make it to the DVD. The match itself,
the match? Go on.
The match itself was good. I enjoyed it. It was what you kind of expected for a coffin match with older guys like Christian Cage and Sting. Darby needs to chill the fuck out with like, because holy shit, he took two coffin drop bumps on the coffin. He needs to relax. He's going to end up,
by the way.
Yeah, he needs to relax because oh my god, dude, you're gonna fuck up your spine before you're 30. Like he's going too hard.
Just
the
like Swerve
stuff was
reaching
good.
out of the coffin though. Oh my gosh, so good. That is like the creative stamp that Swerve put on that match, I think, is what made it so very, very good.
Swerve's heel work saved this. Yeah, Swerve's heel work saved this match for me because I talked about it on the preview where I wasn't super excited about it just because of how the storyline went going into this match. So this Swerve's heel work, especially with like all the stuff he did in the match, was great. I saw some people saying online that like after the women's match, they were kind of like really taken out of the pay-per-view, and then when Swerve started doing like his Whose House Swerve's House thing, it brought him back into the show. They got more invested into that upcoming match because of like how well Swerve carries himself and like just like the absolute like energy he was giving when he was doing his like Whose House stuff. Swerve saved this match. Christian Cage was great. I loved the little like when he in his entrance when he did the countdown thing. It was with like Big Ben. I thought that was really great. Sting and Darby were great as usual. It was a good match. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun and definitely a good way to get people back into the pay-per-view and wake people up after that women's match.
Yeah.
MX, Alex, any thoughts?
I mean,
much else to
y'all,
add.
Yeah, y'all pretty much nailed it for me. That's kind of.
I hit all the points. They got nothing.
My only pro is that I love Swerve.
Yeah.
I love Swerve.
Yeah. The takeaway from this match: Swerve is great. We love Swerve.
No further comments.
That's always the message. Swerve is great.
Followed by Will Ospreay versus Chris Jericho. Will Ospreay defeating Chris Jericho. I don't know about you guys. I definitely kind of felt Will was gonna win this one, not just because of the hometown crowd, just because Jericho does tend to lose these kind of big one-off matches. How was this for you guys? What did you think?
It was so great seeing Will Ospreay live. It was just fucking amazing. This match was worked. By the way, like Will Ospreay was doing all of the running and allowing Jericho to kind of react and do his bits, and I don't know, like he hits a bit differently in person. Like watching how intelligently he works matches to like get the best out of the people that he's working with. It's not to take away from Jericho. Jericho's great, but I don't know, like it was just really interesting seeing that live.
For sure, I think we're in a very go ahead, Fusa. Go ahead.
I'm a huge Ospreay mark. I was wearing an Ospreay shirt the last two streams I was on. I will always love watching a Will Ospreay match, even if it's like a undercard match against, like if they were to put him on like a New Japan show and it was an undercard match against one of the Young Lions, I would still enjoy the match. This match was definitely really good. Not one of his best of the year. But definitely one of like a very strong match. I saw some people saying that it was their match of the night. I don't know if I totally agree with that. I thought that the Stadium Stampede match was a lot much better. I thought that was my match of the night, but it was still a really good match. Ospreay is definitely one of those guys where if you need to get a good performance out of someone, you give them Will Ospreay as an opponent, and he definitely delivered with Jericho.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think. I know that Will is quite injured right now. Hi, Colin. Welcome in.
Hello.
Will is very injured right now, and it's kind of crazy what he's able to do with this situation he's in. I'm like him and Ibushi both need to go in a tank, I think, and heal so that they can wrestle in the future. I worry about.
You gotta let him do his match against Marufuji first.
Okay, yeah, no, I do, because that's like his
dream. You can put him in the tank.
Yeah, then go in the tank. Please go in the tank. It's been a fascinating year to watch Will Ospreay, especially this last year. How much he has grown and changed and developed as a character, as seemingly as a person, as a wrestler. Don't worry about being late, Colin. You're all good. You're just in time. Adam's saying Ospreay is also appearing for Impact at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view in October. Yeah,
yes, he's also working so busy. For Glory.
Watched him at Rev Pro the night before. Like, it is just like I
also wouldn't be surprised if he's at Wrestle Dream.
There's
he's probably going to work Wrestle Dream as well. Like, I can't
take a break.
He's not taking a break. He's not slowing down.
He might have to. That's the scary thing. That's the scariest thing of it all.
It seems like he's aware of it because of his tweet he put out about like how he's kind of stepping away from doing the UK independent scene and everything. It seems that he's aware that he's going to probably slow down starting next year when his contract with New Japan expires, and it's depending. That's actually what I was going to ask, if he signs with New Japan, resigns with AEW, or resigns with New Japan, or signs with AEW. It's hard to say at the moment.
What is everyone's opinions on Will Ospreay potentially joining AEW?
I don't
think terms for me, in terms of, sorry, you can burn. Okay.
I just said I don't think
in terms. Oh, you don't think it will? Okay. To me, it makes sense if he were to sign with AEW. It seems AEW is a lot more lax with the schedule. Like, he's not going to have to work a whole month straight of matches, like doing road to shows like he would in New Japan. And also, it's less of commute for him to go from the States to the UK than Japan to the UK. So that means it's a lot more time he can spend with his family. He's made it very vocal recently about like his 4-year-old stepson. So it seems like he's like wanting to focus a lot more on like being a father figure for him. Or stepfather for him. So to me, it makes sense that he would go to AEW in terms of like what would be best for his family and stuff, and like what he might seem is best for him. If he stays with New Japan, then all power to him. I'm not going to complain if he stays with New Japan. Honestly, as long as he keeps wrestling, then I'm down for him to go wherever he wants.
MX, any thoughts?
I guess only, it is a little weird, and I don't necessarily love the way that it feels a little bit like AEW is starting to sit on talent. And like, that's not necessarily like a horrible thing, because like a lot of them can wrestle other places and stuff like that. But for a talent on the level of Will Ospreay, and like, what is Tony gonna do with the toys he's already got? You know what I mean? Like, he keeps buying new toys, and he's not playing with the ones that he already has. So I'm kind of like mixed on it, because like I don't love this idea of like concentrating like all of this talent in one place. Like, I much prefer a more kind of diverse wrestling landscape where people have like a variety of different places to go. Yeah, but I also am fully in support of wrestlers making the best decisions for them and their families. I'm fully in support for a travel schedule that's less hard on their bodies, and for the chance to rest and heal. New Japan has a really abysmal track record with the way that they work their that wrestlers injured, famously abysmal.
Oh yeah.
And I don't love that for anybody, and it still colors my every interaction with New Japan.
Like, how banged up was Okada before he had his kid, and he took time off.
Like, Okada banged up, like Kenny, like everybody.
Naito with the mild concussion from his match with Ospreay, and then having to work the G1 final. like
I don't
stuff like that.
Yeah.
New Japan is very like New Japan's very much a like product first, health second company.
And I
They've
don't love that.
definitely they've definitely learned their lesson.
Yeah, no, it's not great.
In a way of I don't think they
that
have,
they
but
They had
you
Naito
know,
work the day after. He could barely pick himself off the floor.
that's so true. I think they've only learnt their lesson in levels of like when you look
keeping
at
it quieter.
Yeah, keeping it much quieter. Like you look at a situation that happened with Ibushi when he was so injured, he literally dislocated his shoulder in the G1 final.
I
and
was
you also
so worried about him going into the G1 final,
was an
and then
awful,
with
awful
what
time.
happened with him, like it really put a bad taste in my mouth. So
Yeah.
if Will is hurt and he wants to spend more time with his family, and you know he's got a less of that kind of culture at AEW, like I am fully in support of him making the decision that works best for him.
Yeah. And you know, it's
Plus,
interesting when we
also-
look at people like Shibata, who has specific wrestling contracts and also is wrestling a lot in the US with the right people in the right situations. There is safety to be found, but it is interesting to think with him out of New Japan, who they're that's a big top guy gone for them, and that's a big hole left. So I'm wondering what lengths they would go to retain him in that way. I don't know if he's stated, Colin, if
he has.
He has.
he wouldn't
He
move
said
to the
he's
US.
terrified of living in the States.
That is
Yeah,
so
he's
fair
absolutely
enough.
terrified of
I
living in
don't
the
know
States.
how anybody does it.
He doesn't need to because Pac doesn't live in the US.
Yeah. You just
don't be a wrestler living in the United States with our healthcare system. Just don't do it. Like if you cannot, don't.
Or do it on Tony's books though. That's fine. Like what he did for like Mark Davis and stuff. Paid for like all of his. He wasn't even signed. He paid for all of his surgeries. I feel like Tony has been laying the good path for Will for quite a while. It's definitely a thing he's been trying to do. Israel asking, what do you guys think of how TK has booked Ospreay on Dynamite or All In?
Yeah, he's booked him like a star.
He's booked him how he should be booking Will Ospreay.
He's one of the few.
Yeah, there's so many signs that kind of like point like that Ospreay will probably sign with AEW. He made it very publicly known that his contract expires at the end of January with New Japan. He did that on an episode of Dynamite. He's been booked extremely well with everything with AEW. They've TK's taking a lot of care of Mark Davis, like you mentioned in Aussie Open, which is like they're very close with Ospreay, with them living at his house and everything. He's been booked well, and like honestly, with what we saw with the G1, with New Japan like building up a lot of new guys and dubbing like Reiwa, Three Musketeers, and everything, it seems like they're kind of preparing
much to their own dislike,
much to literally everyone's dismay. It seems like they are preparing for Ospreay to leave. It seems like they know Ospreay is not going to resign. It seems like Ospreay might have even said to them that he's not going to resign. And if he goes to AEW, then like that's great for him, because if he wants to like slow down a bit, then hey, Aussie Open's there. They can do some United Empire storyline stuff. And like as Israel just said, the only thing that Will has to do in New Japan, like that's left for him to do, is win the G1. He's done literally everything there is except win the G1. So like,
and
unless like they're going to guarantee Ospreay's going to win the G1 like in 2024, then like is there really a point for him to stay?
And listen,
you have to like how much does he need to win the G1?
He doesn't need to
win the
G1.
Exactly. He doesn't need to win it except to add like to stat pad his legacy.
Being the champion, he did it. So moving on. The trios match, we had the Acclaimed versus the House of Black. I wasn't sure if the Acclaimed were going to win this. I think it was a lovely pop that they did.
It was kind of like,
all right, guys. All right.
I think we literally all of us on the stream was like, nope, the Acclaim are winning this.
Well, I didn't think the House of Black were going to win when they won. So, you never know. But when they came out in the white gear, I was like, I understand what's happening here. I enjoyed this match, I mean, it's hard not to kind of enjoy these people all in the ring together, and was kind of a nice way to transition from Will and Chris into this, and then kind of set us into a good place for the main event. Any thoughts on this trios match?
It was exactly what I wanted.
Timbers to Julia Hart.
You know what? I popped so hard for that.
So did I.
I was like, finally, you fucking cowards! Like,
they've needed to
you cowards.
I cannot tell you. Every week she does something. I'm like, somebody please punch her in the face. Come on. Like, have you not had enough?
Do something else.
Oh, boy.
Treat her like a wrestler is my point. Treat her like a wrestler who's
she's a wrestler. Treat her like
It's what I mean. Punch her in the face. She's fucking up your match. Do
something other than sending her away with the open house rules. Do something else to her other than telling her to fuck off. Like, please.
Yeah. So I was actually a big fan of that, and I appreciated it. Intergender wrestling is good, actually. But like the whole match, it was just like a fun, feel good match, right?
It was.
Yes, 100%.
Everyone was really into this match,
100%.
and seeing Billy Gunn get his flowers at Wembley was fucking awesome.
Lovely. I am also, sadly kind of happy to see the completely ignored house rules stipulation be over.
It had so much potential.
It had so much
potential.
It
was right there, and everyone was just like, Julia Hart Bar.
We're not stupid as fuck.
It was so sad. It was very. I would have loved to have had proper promos from the House of Black, and there was so much potential for them. I'm kind of glad they're free of this, because it just felt like there wasn't enough time and energy put into what it could be. I'm glad they get to move on in a way and can be sort of free from just having to meet this thing that they set up that never really got the time and energy that it deserved.
I was happy that the Acclaim decided for it to be no holds barred with the open house rule. I was like, fucking finally something different that wasn't just sending Julia Hart away. I talked about this on the preview as well. The only time I liked when Julia Hart was sent away was when the Best Friends did it, because their reasoning was that she's a witch and she's scary. Everyone else is kind of just like, get her out, send her away. But like, at least with like Best Friends, they had like a proper reason for it. So I was glad there was like no holds barred. Like, for once, a good stipulation. I'm glad the Acclaimed got the trios win. I'm glad Daddy Ass got his flowers. I'm glad that they are just doing the thing where they're giving the trios belts custom like makeovers for whatever team's holding them. I think that's
the scissor belt is so funny,
and I'm so glad that the belts scissor. It's my favorite
when we got to that part, I popped so huge. It was already so good, and then it got so much better. The pink,
perfect.
Nobody's doing it like them.
The belts were so nice.
So true.
They have come so far, and they have worked so hard, and they've just they've just been so good and just improving constantly, and just constantly really kind of digging in and being creative and playing to their strengths, and they're just so good, and I'm so happy. It made me happy. I'm happy.
Right.
And Sandra rap. That's all I cared about.
That was
one of the biggest pops of the entire night. Everyone was like, yes.
Yep. Yeah. Let it be known, as much as Brits supposedly are patriotic, we also love to shit on our country as well. And that was it was a perfect moment. Right. So go on. One last point, and then we're going into the main event.
One last point, and then we're main event. When they unveiled the trios belts and it was a pink strap, I saw them. I was like, this is lovely. I love the idea of trios teams getting their own custom belts. And then Anthony Bones turned it around and was like, and they scissor. And I was just like, best fucking belt in the industry, hands down. No argument. I'm not listening to anyone.
Hands down. No, you're correct.
Sell a lot of replicas. Those are people going to buy.
No argument. You cannot convince me otherwise. These are the best championships in the entire industry now.
So our main event, a very emotional ride. I saw a lot of mixed feelings about this, actually. A lot of it positive. Some people, not their thing. How did we enjoy the main event, everyone?
My match
So
of the night.
much. It was
I don't understand
perfect.
how
I
it's
don't
not your
know.
thing. I don't understand how it's not someone's thing. It was so good.
Yeah.
It's
There
really
Like
good.
the story of it, I could kind of understand if the 5 more minutes callback kind of took you out of the match, but like even then though, the entire like following that stuff, that was still really good. It was great storytelling, and like how could you like get taken out of it and then not brought back in by Max yelling, "We're gonna do this until we get it done in fucking Wembley"? Like, how do you not get brought back into the match from that?
Exactly. When they started the match and they were both like, "I love you," and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be a banger." This is, it was so clever.
When
It
they
was
pulled
so
out the Better Than You
creative.
Baby shirts for each other, when
Oh
they pulled
my
out the shirts
God.
for each other, I was like, "Oh my
Pulling
god, this is
off
gonna
the
be the match of the
shirts
night."
Pulling
was
off the
so
shirt.
tense.
That's
Well,
what
you
I'm
have
talking
to-
about. When we're
Well, you
talking
have
about
to
like story
remember.
and attention to detail, like doing
Yeah.
something so simple, but that is so deep, like the whole stadium gasped when
Yeah.
he did that. Like it was a significant thing. And like that's what the construction of this match was. I've seen the take that this was WWE like, and I think that we need to either retire the phrase or define terms, because
Yeah.
all I can say is that people who are mad at things being fun describing fun things as WWE like, and I don't watch WWE, but I don't think that's true.
100%. It's definitely there's a group of very loud kind of pure wrestling people that watched this and for some reason didn't reserve the same fun energy for the main event. And I think a lot of people who expect a certain thing from a main event that is actually New Japan. That's different. They're gonna do
Why are
something
we
different
pretending
here
that New Japan doesn't do comedy?
as
Why are
well.
we
Yeah,
pretending that like New Japan like doesn't have emotion and pathos? Like why are we pretending? Why do we pretend these things? I have watched New Japan. I know that's not true.
yeah,
Whole
Honest.
Naito
exactly.
run has
And
been one emotional beat after the after another. Like it's I don't know.
yeah,
I don't really
I
know what
think
people's
I think
problems are.
people who didn't enjoy this were watching it with the wrong eyes, and also don't necessarily understand
You know what? And like
what they see, because, like you said, this isn't this is there's lots of diversity within Japanese wrestling, and to think that this is WWE like and not like the purist style
This was elite like.
it's
like
it was elite.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex.
yeah.
This is BTE. This is the story about Kenny Omega's dick pic turning into like a gripping tale of betrayal and friendship and all of these twisted things. Like it is the blending of elements that are emotional, that are humorous, and that are dead fucking serious, and that's elite all the way through.
Did they just not like it
Yeah.
that they
You
were
know-
trying to evoke actual relatable feelings in it? Was it the same dickheads that don't like that Hangman is a vulnerable character? Because
Yes.
I
Like,
imagine. Yeah, I
Like,
imagine.
is it just people that are very scared of falling far from the toxic masculinity tree?
Yeah, and I think there's a certain group of people who, as well, that they don't compute the idea of the different feelings in a match, things that are funny, things that are emotional, different beats and different kind of, points, climaxes throughout a match doesn't necessarily like people see something one way and then interpret the match as the rest of that feeling. The rest of the match, oh, this was a joke. The rest of the match is a joke, when like there's so much more going on. Israel makes a really good point. I think it was nice that for a change there was no heel turn, because that would have been obvious. And I mean, that was what I was on the edge of my seat about, because before
and
MJF
the
was
stadium
the devil.
gasped. that was when everyone thought that Cole was about to do the thing that nobody wanted him to do.
Well, yeah,
Right.
before MJF was the devil, Adam Cole was the devil incarnate, you know? Like he has done some crazy stuff to his friends before. And so it was like, will Adam Cole do this? I was less concerned about what
like
MJF would do. Adam Cole was exactly. I was like, how is
everyone
he
can
gonna
relate to this. Like, it's scary letting people in, right? Like, it's not an easy thing to let new people into your life, especially if you have been hurt in the past. And is it people are just not comfortable confronting that because it evokes memories in themselves, or I don't know what it is, because I was feeling that the entire match. Like, it wasn't just like the exposition that the MJFs rattled through in the story. Like, this was an emotional match. Like, I was saying to MX, quite often when I'm watching wrestling, I'm not like fully captivated, but I was in this. Like, I was like fully fixated on everything that was happening because everything was evoking something in me, whether I was laughing at a comedy spot or whether I was really wanting Cole not to hit him with the belt.
Yeah, were we going to see a top 10 anime betrayal? I just wasn't sure. And I love that. I love that so much.
I will say there are reasonable people for whom this story hasn't hit. And they say, listen, this story isn't hitting for me. But a lot of people seem to love it, and I'm super happy for them, and I'll just focus on something else I like. And that's fine. Like, we're not talking about those people. Like, it is reasonable to like look at this and be like, this isn't really for me, and then to see how successful it is and to just be like, it's fine that it's not really for me. But like I forgot my train of thought.
The sigh. Oh, that broke my heart.
It's just like there's so much to it. It bottlenecks. Yes, Fusa.
Can I like just like while you like try to find your train of thought, I just like just jump on to like what you're saying?
Yes, please.
So I'm a firm believer. Like I say this to everyone: if you don't like the thing, like the product you're watching, watch something else. There is so much wrestling in the world that you don't have to put yourself through like whatever you're not liking. If you don't like what's going on with AEW right now, watch a different promotion. Like watch New Japan. If you don't like what's like how they're booking New Japan right now, go watch Pro Wrestling Noah. If you don't like Noah, watch DDT. If you don't like all the crazy crazy shit going on with DDT, go to watch Stardom. If you're not liking how Rossi's booking Stardom with all his draws, TJPW. If you don't like what Koda's doing TJPW, then Dragon Gate, All Japan. Like there's so many options that if you don't like
a part of your identity, like a lot of people do online.
Yes, exactly. That, and that's the problem. Is that there's some there are some people, like the people who are saying that this was a bad match or like it's a bad storyline. Either A, you're not following the storyline, or B, you're one of those anti-AEW bad faith people. Because this is not anywhere near what anything WWE is doing. This is like much higher than what WWE is doing. Because the thing is with WWE, their tops, even if you look at the top storyline right now with the Bloodline, people are shitting on it. It's like their own fans are shitting on it because of where it is right now. Like you're not seeing like the people who actually enjoy AEW shitting on MJF and Adam Cole. You're seeing them embrace MJF and Adam Cole and loving what they're doing. So if you don't like the product you're watching, go watch something else. There's so much wrestling in the world, and you'll find something that you enjoy.
And even then, like even with that, like it is okay if you don't love everything that's happening in the promotion that you're watching.
Exactly,
like
that
it's,
too.
Like it is actually okay if like some segments of your wrestling show aren't for you. That has been true for me this whole time. All the time watching AEW, that has been true for me. But I think
I'm mad that Soraya's women's champion.
Like, yeah, exactly. But I'm not going to stop watching.
Soraya's women's champion, but we're not quitting AEW over it. Like just stuff like that. Like we're you're not going to enjoy everything. You can't please everyone.
Seek joy.
Can't enjoy everything. That's going to apply to every promotion. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say,
that's going
and
to
like
apply
on the
to every
topic
promotion you watch.
And like on the topic of seeking joy, thank you, Libby. Don't apologize. On the topic of seeking joy, though, because I do want to talk about, like, I don't want to just talk about the haters. Like, I do want to talk about this match. I want to talk about how clever it was. I want to talk about you know, the buildup of the emotion, and how the humorous parts were meant to provide contrast for when things started to turn, and how, you know, like against all odds, they were able to like come at the end of this like still together and still friends, and how that's so unique as far as a wrestling story. And I think that this was an amazing main event, and I just think, like, I think it was well worked. I think both guys looked amazing in it, and just like it just really, really, really resonated with me, and I'm glad that we still have them. I'm glad that they're ROH tag champs, and
Man, that's
it'll just
an interesting chapter now to come. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's so easy to have done something crazy at Wembley in a way that would shut down this story, or to have them, you know, fall out in the opening match to set up for some drama for the main event. They could have really easily
they
done
could have
that.
done that, and it would have
They
been
did it
the normal storytelling booking, and people would have been really exhausted with it, I think. And I think
What I
now,
liked about
like, their
this
friendship is
match,
kind of
like it did a really good job of taking you in a direction that you thought it was going to go, and then taking you the other way. And
this was
just
really
it was good. It was really good at like playing on your knowledge of wrestling to subvert your expectations. It was really, really good. Like, I don't know, that's exactly what I want from wrestling. Like, I don't want to be able to predict the next 5 minutes. It was fantastic.
This really, like, you know, I was just enamored in this whole match. Just being there for it felt so special. It made the Wembley price feel like it was worth it. This is, I mean, I've gone over to the US and gone to AEW pay-per-views. This is the most expensive AEW ticket I have ever bought in my life, and potentially one of the furthest I've ever sat away from. I was still pretty close to the ring, actually. I was much closer than I thought I was. But I do not regret a penny of my ticket. It was so worth it to be there for this, to be in person for this main event, to feel the feeling and the energy of all of this was so special. Adam, I was thinking of going to the show that the Raw tag title match would be, where one of them would have turned on each other. Ooh,
I was hoping so much that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Because that would be the standard. The standard plot beat, right?
Yeah.
Wrestling 101.
Yeah. It would have been very Wrestling 101, and yeah, it was always a very real possibility. But I love that it was instead organized. So MJF did not do a dive during the ROH match, right? And that bit was called back in the match in the main event. Like, it was stuff like that that like just really did it for me. And the build to the kangaroo kick.
The kangaroo kick got an enormous pop.
I love it when wrestlers get stupid shit over.
I did not expect him to hit both of them. I thought he was only gonna get one of them with it.
It
got both
solid too.
It was like,
it was very impressive.
It was a good kick.
It took a solid 60 seconds to recover from that kangaroo kick. I was absolutely buckled.
I love it when wrestlers get stupid shit over. That is the mark of a true champion, is getting something objectively dumb as hell over. To that degree, an artist. He's truly an artist.
It's amazing. Go ahead, Fusa.
In terms of storytelling, like in-ring storytelling, this is my match of the year. This is not like my overall match of the year. That still belongs to Ospreay Omega from Forbidden Door. But in terms of like in-ring storytelling, this is by far the best like in-ring storytelling match of the year so far. There was so many good callbacks. There's so many heart-wrenching moments. I got pulled around by a leash on like every turn. Them doing like what I'm talking about with the dive, and just all that kind of stuff. The Max fighting with himself to do the pile driver on the announcer's table, then Adam like doing it, fighting with himself him with the Dynamite Diamond ring and then not doing it. And just even the stuff where like they both yelled double clothesline and then clothesline each other and took each other down, which caused the double pinfall. Just stuff like that.
It was. I love that spot so much. I won't apologize for it.
No, I won't.
Also, Robbie just being like an evil little gremlin trying
to
hold Cole back to the dark side. It was just
Roddy
like somebody
is
on his shoulder,
so
wasn't he?
bad. I cannot believe how down bad Roddy is. This is not Roddy's first. This is not Roddy's first venture into Adam Cole. Is not a good friend to me, and he keeps coming back. That poor man, Roddy Strong. I'm so sorry. You have a wife at home and a child. Okay, you're gonna be okay.
But yeah,
it's so bad.
You'll be fine, Roddy. You have more people in your life than just Adam Cole. So
I did wonder if he was gonna fuck up the match. I'm really glad he didn't.
Yeah.
There's two things I'm an absolute sucker for in terms of storytelling, where it's like just like full on in-ring storytelling like this match was, and underdog stories. Adam Cole in the last 5 years has done, in my opinion, two of the best matches for interim storytelling and underdog story, with this match, and then also when he did the 2-3 Falls match against Johnny Gargano at NXT TakeOver New York. Because with that match, the crowd was behind Adam Cole. He made his entrance, everyone like popped for him, they were cheering him on and everything. When Johnny made his entrance, there were some boos, there were people that didn't react. So like, and then over time as the match went on, the crowd got behind Johnny. Johnny Gargano like got himself over with the storytelling with Adam in that match with the underdog story, and then he won it to like one of the biggest pops like from the entire WrestleMania weekend, and what that was the match of that WrestleMania weekend. It's like Adam Cole is one of the absolute best in terms of storytelling.
No, you're great. No, to bounce off of that, I saw an interview with Adam Cole, like read some things on an interview, whichever it was, where he said something along the lines of, I think it was pretty soon after he had debuted for AEW, and you know, Adam is very well loved by wrestling fans. Like, people like him. He's, you know, he's that cool heel. You know what I mean? People always want to cheer him. And he was like asked something along those lines, and he said, like, yeah, you know, like, that's really cool to have that, but my job as a heel is to take that and make you hate me anyway. And that's what he did in this match, and he did it masterfully, and he does it all of the time, and it's really difficult too, because Adam Cole is very handsome and charismatic, and people love to cheer for him, so he's got a really hard job.
He had such a heartwarming smile too. His smile is like by far one of like the best smiles I've ever seen, where like he smiles and you're just like feeling inclined to smile back because he's just so happy.
He does so well to not give in to like the pops and stuff. He just like, you know, he does it so well. I think that interview you're speaking of, or at least what I remember him talking about, it was on the AEW Unrestricted podcast. Listening to Adam Cole's episode of that is really, really interesting, and it was right like not long after he joined, so it was he had this amazing energy in that match. It's definitely worth watching or listening to. I have to dip. Thank you very much for having me here. I had a lovely time. I will leave you guys to talk about All Out, all of your predictions. Whoever's feeling strong enough to lead you guys down the path of some kind of focus.
Plug yourself before you leave. Plug yourself before you leave.
Before you can follow me at Libby_Cadman. I don't tweet that much, but I do retweet all of the lovely people here quite often. So if you like them, I would just give you more of them on your feed. And yeah, you can find me on the All Elite Wrestling podcast that we record. If you're a Patreon member, you listen to Into the Wrestleverse. That's where we shoot the breeze every week about wrestling. It's very silly, very fun. Me, Trent, and Kieran, just having a good time. And that's it, really. That's me. I don't do much, but I'm here, and I try not to be an arsehole. I think that's...
We love you, Libby.
I think that's good. I think more people should engage in that feeling. enjoy previewing All Out. And I'll see everyone later.
Bye, Libby.
Bye.
Right. Bye, Libby.
I will say before we move
She
on
doesn't
to
do much,
All Out,
but she does a good amount.
She does.
Sorry,
does much.
I was complimenting Libby still. Go ahead. She doesn't do that much, but she does enough.
Yeah, we have a slight delay, which makes it a little difficult, but we're getting it. We're getting
through.
I
noticed that.
I do want to, before we move on to All Out, address Israel's comment: should the story end with them turning on each other or separate as friends? And I will say, I don't think so. End, I think, is probably not quite the correct term. Like, I always see wrestling stories as like going into next phases. So I think, yes, at some point, Adam Cole and MJF are going to split, because as in the parable of the scorpion and the fox, it is in their nature. But I think that however they split has to be as painful as possible. From this main event, they have been locked in as friends. Like, it's real. We now know it's real. We have proof that it's real. So when somebody and here's the thing I haven't seen a lot of discussion of: when that hug at the end, they're both doing the backstabbing motion in that hug at the end.
That looks very different on camera. I did that last week.
Yes. So that's
why do you keep doing it?
So that's
you had the same thing last week where you did the same thing and you said the same thing and then you did it again.
But
I was annoyed at myself there for doing it again.
But
you're your own worst enemy.
I think that however this kind of falls out, it has to be the most painful possible way. It's got to be heartrending. It's got to be heartbreaking. I expect to weep is what I truly want from this. This is not a story with a happy ending. Like best friends, it never was going to be.
This is when they split, it's gonna be like DIY shit. They're gonna be best friends for like the next like 3 years, and then they're gonna end up splitting, and everyone's gonna be so upset. And the thing is, though, what's gonna be the worst part about it is that it's gonna be a thing where MJF is only gonna be with Adam. He's not gonna, because he himself has said it that he's never been good making friends. He's probably not gonna make any more friends. So it's gonna be a thing where he is going to be with Adam for the rest of the time, and then they eventually split, and it's going to hurt because you know that MJF will never have another friend like Adam.
Yeah, that's the tragedy, right? That's the
absolute tragedy. Stuff. Wrestling is such like a great overall thing because it could be a comedy, it can be a drama, and it can also be a tragedy. And this storyline, the day it ends, will be a tragedy. And also to answer the other thing of who has custody of Kyle O'Reilly, and Roddy saying that he did, I think Roddy's not. I don't think Kyle's going to exactly agree to that.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for that to play out, to be sure.
Because the thing is, with Kyle returning, Kyle will most likely, he's going to side with Adam more than he's going to side with Roddy, because Kyle has been there for longer with Adam than he did with Roderick, and he's been through so much with Adam in Ring of Honor and NXT and now here in AEW that like he has to come back and be with Adam. There's no like, the only thing I can see possibly happening where he doesn't come back and join Adam is if they bring back in Bobby Fish. Bobby tries to like be like, hey Kyle, don't join Adam, side with me, let's be Red Dragon again. Remember all the shit that Adam has put you through before, with everything that happened when he was in the Kingdom, everything that happened when he was with Bullet Club, the stuff in Florida, wink wink. Like that's like the only real way I see them possibly pulling Kyle away, other than MJF being MJF and not knowing how to accept another person into his life. But yeah, no, he's going to come back and join Adam first, and then maybe MJF pushes him away over time, but
it'll be good. It'll
be great.
However it happens, it'll be It'll be full of feelings, which is what I want from my wrestling. And I think that's a really good note to transition into All Out, because we've been here for 2 hours and 15 minutes and we've got to do something.
Yes.
Please tell me you have the card, because I'm not organized. That's not what I'm
I do
for.
have the card for All Out. I have the card right here for All Out. It's great that you mentioned that. Really quick, before we touch on All Out, because I have the card updated until Rampage, are we okay with talking about the winners of that Battle Royal for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Number One Contenders? Should I say a spoiler warning?
Yeah, like this is going to be your spoiler warning. If you don't want to know what happens in Rampage, like dip out.
This is your spoiler warning right now for Rampage. I'll open it up with this tag title match before anything else. This is your one and only spoiler warning for Rampage. Mute the stream now if you don't want to know who Better Than You Baby is facing until Friday. So, the winners of the Rampage Tag Team Ring of Honor Tag Team Battle Royale was the Dark Order. So on Sunday, we're getting Better Than You Baby versus Alex Reynolds and John Silver for the Ring of Honor Tag Titles.
If we don't get a kiss spot in the middle of the ring, I'm going to be raging.
Budge! How do we feel about it being the Dark Order? I know, so actually really quick, I know you guys haven't been following Ring of Honor, so you guys probably haven't seen the change Dark Order. So Dark Order has gone very much back into their like 2019, 2020 like Brody Lee kind of roots, where they're still like a little bit silly, like as like Dark Order would be, but they've gotten a lot more serious. Their feud with the Righteous has opened back up that 2019 Dark Order. So this is a much more serious Dark Order than what was like the people hanging out with Adam Page. Yep, that's right, Adam Page, and like what they were doing on Being the Elite and stuff. Also Adam Cole, not as much Adam Cole. Well, yes, also Adam Cole, but not as significant as Hangman, but like it's there. So like this is a very like different Dark Order than what has been seen recently. So with that, and also all the names that were in the Rampage Battle Royale, I also have that. Like, I don't even recognize those guys.
A single time that the Dark Order have been given an opportunity and they fucked it up. Like, they have knocked every single opportunity out that they have had to showcase how good they are out of the park. They did it in the trios match. They've done it in tag title matches. The Dark Order are really good individually, but Silver and Reynolds are a fucking entertaining and really good tag team.
Dark Order is definitely one of the more underrated talents AEW has had since day one. Just really quick, I want to do a quick rundown of everyone who was in that Battle Royal, and like if like you guys think Dark Order was the right choice, or maybe we'll saw someone else. So there was a team that I don't even recognize, probably some local jobber squad. Darius Martin and Action Andretti, Best Friends, Peter Avalon and Ryan Nemeth, The Righteous, Hardys 2.0, Aussie Open, Gates of Agony, and Dark Order. Those were all the teams that were in the Battle Royal. Does Dark Order seem like the right choice?
Yeah, I think Dark Order seemed like the right choice before. Like to your point, like Dark Order are a really excellent tag team, and they have not been presented very well, and like their pushes haven't been taken seriously. And I think an under discussed element of Brawl Out is how their story was really derailed, because during last year's tag team or a trios title match, they were really setting some stuff up, and it was getting really emotional, and we were going to have that. And that was derailed, and I think that's a real crime. So yeah, this is good. And you know, they have earned their place. They have storyline connection with Adam Cole, which I'm sure they will capitalize on, and they're gonna have a banger match, and they're a banger tag team. So I don't see what the problem is, and anybody that does have a problem can meet me in the pit.
Fight pit. I think Dark Order was another great choice. I would have also been down with Best Friends winning. I think Best Friends deserves to have a proper like a tag title shot at some point, whether it be for Ring of Honor or the AEW tag titles. If they want to run it back with the Aussie Open, I would have been open for that. No pun intended. On like the main card, I think that would have been good. Everyone else is kind of just like there. The Kingdom wasn't part
2.0.
of the Battle Royal.
2.0 would have been good too.
2.0 would have been good.
The thing about 2.0 is that they've been stuck in the Jericho vortex for like a year and a half, and we haven't seen them wrestle at all.
Yeah.
So
I think they've
I would be really happy to see them wrestle again.
2.0's only teamed together like by themselves like maybe 2 times, 3 times since they joined the Jericho Appreciation Society. Like ever since they joined JAS, they just have not been attacked.
Listening. It was they've tagged very few times since they've joined Jericho. It's worked out wonders for them.
I was so upset when they joined Jericho Appreciation Society because they were having such a fun tag team run, and I knew that Jericho would ruin them. And I was correct. I was correct.
I do think that they have benefited from getting more over, but they've not wrestled, which is what we want to see them do.
Jericho has definitely ruined them as a tag team. As characters, though, I think they've been elevated as with the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Like Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Edge and Daddy Magic gimmicks, I think were a lot better because, like, if you really think about before JAS, other than the tag team wrestling, all they had was like teaming with Garcia and like walking like this out to the ring.
But they had just gotten there, is the thing. Like, they had just gotten to AEW at the time. Like, yeah, sure.
That's
like
true.
Their gimmicks that they did along with Jericho are good and got super over, but I do not accept the narrative that they could not have done that by themselves and also along the way wrestled.
Yeah, that's true. I still love the characters.
I'm not sure they would have. I don't know if they would have gotten over as they are now. Maybe they would have, but they are as over as they are now. But so it'd be nice to see them wrestle occasionally.
Yeah.
2.0 as like a tag team before JS is kind of a Schrodinger's cat thing because like they were doing literally nothing in NXT, got released, just arrived in AEW, and then got got put into the Jericho Appreciation Society. So it's kind of like a Schrodinger's cat thing of like we don't really know what could have happened with them.
They were getting
there wasn't
really
anything
over.
to go off
I
of
remember
from the first place. They were.
I remember they were getting really over as a tag team. Like them with Garcia was getting over.
Yeah, because
they were being really entertaining.
Yeah.
So
anyway, kind of back on track. What's
the
the
Dark Order is
prediction
going to be a
for the
fantastic match.
They're going to be great. Prediction for a tag title match?
It's going to be amazing.
I think we're just all on the same side, better than you, baby, retaining.
Yeah.
To Israel's point about the Kingdom not being in the Battle Royal, but would that have made more sense with the whole Roddy thing? I think they're keeping that in their back pocket. I think that's going to be a slower boil. I think that's definitely it's definitely in the cards to be sure. But for like a first defense, I think they're
I was saying that on Wednesday in the Discord, link in the Twitter, that there should I was thinking that it was going to be the Kingdom because like the Kingdom was right there. So I thought it was strange that they were left out of the Battle Royal. But like think about it more, it does make more sense.
Mm-hmm. Slower boil.
Moving on. Let's go into this one. Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley.
Hell yeah. Main event. Let's fucking go.
Hell yeah.
He cut a good promo.
I'm hoping it's the main event.
Orange Cassidy cut a good promo? He just doesn't.
Orange Cassidy. Do it. Yeah, he just doesn't.
No, I know that he can do it. I've seen the evidence.
Yeah.
It was last night.
The few times that he
did a good promo.
That was great. I love that promo.
It was a fantastic promo. It was a great delivery. It was really intense.
Mm-hmm.
Orange Cassidy is one of those guys that he can be a meme and also a serious threat in the same promo because he cut a great promo about how this is he will not stand down against Moxley, and then he's dropping shit like my name is freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy and I do not have a catchphrase.
And I do not have a catchphrase.
And I do not have a catchphrase.
That's what I've been talking about, the blending of yeah, that's what I've been talking about the blending of the humor and the intensity, right? It is possible and we can do it, and they don't undermine each other, they enhance each other. Orange is perfect at that.
Orange Cassidy's like
Yeah, that
the
was really good.
perfect blend
What's
of
kind of
comedy
amusing though
and
is that's
wrestling.
probably going to be his catchphrase now.
That
Maybe.
did not have a catchphrase. Yeah.
Yeah.
His catchphrase is he doesn't have a catchphrase. That's that would be so in character though for him to just like constantly just be like, I don't have a catchphrase. Is that your catchphrase though? No, I don't have one.
I don't think we'll hear him talk for another 2 years, to be perfectly honest.
No. It'll be little like comments backstage to Renee about he's really tired or something.
He's perfect. OC versus Mox isn't what I consider main event material normally. I mean, people said that about MJF Adam Cole, and I fundamentally disagreed, and I still fundamentally disagree.
I kind of, do you mean that it kind of still, like the way that it's been built kind of feels like a Dynamite match? Or do you mean that you don't think that they're capable of it feeling like a main event?
If you don't think they're capable, then we're gonna step outside.
Because I don't know, like my frustration or my oversaturation of Orange Cassidy is very well noted, but he is an excellent wrestler. Like I'm in the same way that I'm done when somebody puts the same song on like 25 times in a row. I'm as run down as Orange Cassidy is in kayfabe of seeing Orange Cassidy.
And that's why Anarchy in the Arena is your favorite match type, right?
Yeah.
So I'm playing 25 times in a row. That's why Anarchy in the Arena is your favorite match.
Torture.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, this is
like I think
this can be good.
it's if people I think as far as like sweeping statements is like what counts as a main event match. Like anything is a main event match if you believe hard enough. Is kind of like how I feel about it. Like I'm being kind of facetious, but not really. Is just like the way that things have become important enough to be main event is that you treat them like they're important enough to be main event. You know? Like that's our whole
Jamie, there's
what
been
did
so
Jamie
much
say?
punk slander. He said, "I hope there has
not
been
as much as there could be.
Absence."
Not as much as there could be.
We've avoided talking about like properly talk about Perry and Punk. Like this could be like
what more is there to be
if we
said?
talked about it.
What more is there to be said? We've got a lot of stuff to do.
Good on Jack Perry.
Oh yeah.
Do it again.
So
it's more on OC. I never thought he'd reach the main event on any show. I mean, I guess I fundamentally like it just depends on like it just depends, I guess, on what your criteria for main event match is. But for me, my criteria of a main eventer is somebody who's over as fuck and can wrestle like a king.
People said the same thing about Edge,
and that's always been Orange Cassidy. So
like when WWE were planning to make Edge a main event star, people were like, "Really, Edge? But he's just a tag team guy. He's never going to be a main eventer."
Yeah,
and like this happens all the time. Like my frustration with Orange Cassidy's run doesn't override the fact that he is an amazing wrestler and can make people care about him.
Thank
and
you
that's
for
what you
stopping
need
by,
in the
Colin.
main event.
Thanks for stopping by, Colin. I hope I didn't come across as too aggressive. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I just got passionate. I ran him off. I'm so sorry.
The most aggressive person.
I'm so mean.
And shark.
We're just going
killing our business.
Always get into shouting matches with MX. Anyway, you're saying about Cassidy's reign?
Yeah. So like, I don't know. His reign's been fine. I think it's been overbooked to the point where like I full on just see him coming out and then skip to the next match. Like, but that doesn't undermine the fact that this will be a good match, right? And it's John Moxley and Orange Cassidy in the same ring. Even if you can't, this is going to sound like a shot at Colin, but it's not. Even if you can't buy into Orange Cassidy as a main eventer, you've got somebody that everyone buys into as a main eventer, and John Moxley across the ring from him. So this is like one of these things that people need to go through in order for people to begin to perceive them as a main eventer, right? It's why every match at All In front of 80,000 people was largely consistent of a very experienced person coupled with a less experienced person. Adam Cole has been in this position before, or like at least has wrestled in front of big crowds. MJF has not. Therefore, not that I didn't ever think that MJF would like bow to pressure or anything like that. And then you have like Takeshita in the ring with Jay White and Kenny Omega.
White,
like this
Omega,
is how you
Paige,
get people to main event status. You put them in a main event and you put them in the ring with someone that's going to allow them to flourish because they can handle the pressure.
Yeah.
And like also,
you just put them in a
John
ring
Moxley
with someone
is
that can go, and then let them go.
Yeah. And John Moxley is a wrestling genius, and so is Orange Cassidy. So to me, this is brilliant. I mean, and like also, again, I don't watch WWE, but I didn't get the impression that WWE was of the opinion that John Moxley was a superstar main eventer.
No, he wasn't. And I was watching WWE a little bit.
They gave him the world title the one time, and I think purely
it was a transitional.
They gave him the world title the one time. Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't transitional. He held it for a few defenses and then dropped to AJ Styles. But honestly, I think he was like they gave him the title run purely to say that all three members of the Shield held the title on the same night during Money in the Bank 2016.
Right.
Like it didn't.
Yeah. And
like thinking back on it, it didn't feel like they put faith in Moxley. They just wanted to have that little like thing in the history books of WWE. And then like after,
That's
so
after them, though. They never do stuff like that.
Because another telling point was that they inserted James Ellsworth into Mox and AJ Styles when they really didn't need to do that. They like from the start of his reign to like actually scratch that from the start of the Shield breaking up all the way until like him leaving the company, it felt like they never took Moxley seriously except for a few other occasions. Some occasions, and then like he just was either there or like he was doing goofy shit. And the thing, and actually that kind of brings me to my point about this match, is that we know Moxley can do goofy shit, which is why he's absolutely perfect for Cassidy, because he will perfectly match Cassidy's doing goofy shit. And then he can just turn on the Blackpool Combat Club Moxley, and Cassidy can turn it on as well. So these guys are like the perfect opponents for each other because they match each other so well.
Just kind of hoping that it has the same sort of energy as the Pac match from way back when 2019.
Oh, it will. It totally will. Like these guys are like perfect for each other. And honestly, I said this. I don't know if I said that in the wrestling Discord. I might have said somewhere else. But if Moxley wins the title, then that title, nothing really changes about the title because Moxley will still be a workhorse champion, and that title will still be a workhorse belt. And like
it
Israel
may appear
mentioned
in different
previously,
promotions, so something will be
yeah,
different.
like Israel
the
mentioned
actual
previously,
intended purpose of that belt will be represented by the champion. Like because I don't like that belt has not appeared outside of AEW since Orange Cassidy won it.
It has appeared once, technically twice. He defended it at Collision Philadelphia, Philly Collision, whatever. He defended it against Gabriel Kidd on that show, and technically because of the joint pay-per-view with New Japan AEW, like Forbidden Door, he defended on Forbidden Door, so like technically twice, but not really. So yeah, ever since he won the belt, it was defended outside of AEW one time. It was defended outside of AEW one time, and that was a New Japan show. So and then also, sorry,
I would be happy. Nope, you're good. Okay.
Like Moxley gets booked for indie shows all the time. He books him. He gets on indie shows a bunch. So at least that way, we will know this belt is going to be defended on outside of AEW. Because Moxley is just going to be there. So, of course, indie companies are going to jump on an opportunity.
The premise of this belt was really cool.
Is going to
an AEW championship being defended at an indie that would, by its mere presence, elevate that indie. But it's since Orange Cassidy has been champion, that has not been the case. And Mox taking the championship reinstate that part of the belt, and it'll be really, really cool because
honestly, I'll be happy if either of them win.
Exactly. I'm not like this is a win-win kind of match where like I'm happy with the guy. But in terms of like Moxley winning it, the match will like the belt won't change. It'll still be the workhorse title that Orange Cassidy had as, except Moxley will elevate it and defend it in other places and bring it back to what it was when Pac had it. So this is a win-win match either way, because either the belt stays on Orange Cassidy, or Orange Cassidy still keeps having the run of his career, or it goes to Moxley. Moxley does Moxley things with it, and it goes to other places. Like, there's not really a losing situation with this match. I think Alex may disagree, though.
Yeah, Alex.
No. I mean,
okay.
To a degree. I mean, I do want Mox to win because I actually want to see the purpose of the belt fulfilled. And Orange Cassidy's had like aeons to do that, and he's not doing it. So I would quite like Mox to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but so what's next on the card?
So up next is Joe. This one's probably gonna be a quick one. Samoa Joe versus Shane Taylor for the Ring of Honor TV title.
This is a gift for Joe for putting up with bullshit and All In. 100%. 100%. They're just
Thanks for breaking up a fight,
sorry.
Joe. Here you go.
It's like, I am so sorry for everything that happened. Like, what can we do for you? And he's like, put me on the card with my boy. That's 100% what this match is, and I support it 100%. And I'm sure it'll be great.
So this match was always going to happen because there was a small tournament of Ring of Honor to determine the number one contender. Shane Taylor won that like 2 weeks ago now, I think. So this match was always going to happen. It was just kind of a thing of like, when is it going to happen? And it's happening on All Out. Big stage for both guys.
Knew that Punk was going to have to deal with, that Joe was going to have to deal with Punk. So that was probably the deal, wasn't it?
This was always the reward. This is always the reward.
That's fair enough. I didn't have the context of Ring of Honor. You're right.
Yeah, that's the full Ring of Honor context. That's why also there's a whole thing of Dalton Castle as well, where Dalton Castle's pissed off at Joe and Stokely Hathaway because they screwed him out of it. So apparently there was someone at Wembley that had a sign that said "Book Shane Taylor." Hey, look, he listened. He saw the sign. This match.
Now, if you could just hear and see the Book the Women's Division sign, that would be grand.
Yeah.
He can't see all of a sudden. It's so weird.
He just
can't read all of a sudden.
He's like Kevin Kelly anytime Toriana cheats in a match. It's like, oh no, my monitor, where'd it go? My monitor turned off. Oh no, what happened? Like
me in every Toriano match.
Oh no, I actually hit a switch. I don't know how to turn on my monitor. Oh, I'm so bad with technology.
To be fair, I turned my monitor off when Yano's on.
So this match I'm kind of indifferent about. I'm indifferent about Shane Taylor as a wrestler. I think he's fine. I like Joe. Joe's most likely going to retain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun.
If I hit all the points. If I hit all the points, are we going to move on?
I think so. Yeah, we are.
We can move on.
Next up, it's Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata versus Claudio and Wheeler Yuta.
Hell yeah, 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 hell yeah.
Okay, calm down, Kieran. Calm down, Kieran.
Let's fucking go. Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Kieran hacked MX.
No, because for Kieran it would be about Shibata, but for me it's about Eddie Kingston.
It's for Eddie Kingston is for me as well.
Yeah. So Eddie Kingston is to me as Shibata is to Kieran.
but really good.
I feel the same way about Ospreay, so it's fine. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to complain about this match. Like, it's Eddie and Shibata teaming up. Lovely.
Let's fucking
it's
go.
Eddie and it's Eddie getting his hands on Claudio. Lovely. It's Shibata getting his hands on Wheeler Yuta. Lovely. It's Claudio and Wheeler Yuta teaming together. Lovely. Like, there's nothing wrong with this match. It's going to be a great match. Who's going to win is the only, like, kind of like, I don't know about this match. Don't care. It's going to bang.
It's not about winning. It's about the friends we made along the way. Yeah, no, it's going to be great. That's all I got.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to that.
No more thoughts? Okay.
Nope. I'm just looking forward to seeing people kick the shit out of each other. That'll be good fun.
Yep.
Exactly. So this is not confirmed on the card yet, but I kind of want to address this because I feel like it's going to lead to something in the card. On Collision, Ricky Starks is supposed to be challenging Ricky the Dragon Steamboat to a strap match at All Out. The rumor was
care less about this.
The rumor
care
was
more about this than the other match.
Yes. The rumor is that it's supposed to be Ricky versus Punk in a strap match at All Out. That's supposed to allegedly be the main event. That possibly could change. That match at the moment is kind of up in the air because they're still doing the investigation with All Out. There's been some people saying like, hey, what if Hangman answers the challenge in Ricky Dragon's Steamboat's honor? And I think that'd be hilarious. And honestly, I would be down for Ricky versus Hangman. It would happen, no, but like
that would be my ideal situation, because the last time that Punk decided to be CM Punk, we got Colt Cabana on TV, and this time I really want to see something like that because, continue a tradition. Like,
yeah, it would be funny.
Yeah,
actually, yeah, Colt Cabana answer the fucking thing. Like, that would be great. Put Colt Cabana in the main event.
Colt Cabana versus Ricky Starks, yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Main event. Put that in the main event.
I would not have cared
something to be excited about.
Yeah, I would not have cared about Punk versus Ricky, and I do not care about this.
Yeah,
I think that, yeah.
Cool. But I just wanted to touch on it because it seems like that's gonna be our match at All Out. Moving on.
Yeah.
Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho for the TBS title.
Hopefully they wrestle for more than 8 minutes.
Impossible. Let's wrestle for 8 minutes.
The show's only going to be 5 hours long. Like, how many minutes do you really want to give them? Like, come
on. 4 hours actually. Tony himself has confirmed that he makes sure shows go under 4 hours.
No way they do All Out in Chicago without Punk. Tony is a Punk mark. It might be out of his hands, depending on what the legal.
It might be out of his hands. With how it is, like,
can we just like
charges?
How bad it must be for Mega at the moment, the amount of overtime that she's having to do.
Like,
just Punk's in the building and she's just like looking like doing, in Futurama where the Amy clears her calendar. It's mum mode, but this night it's just Punk mode.
Yeah.
Dealing with Punk shit for the next month.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put anything past him at this point.
Again.
The guy's a friggin' cockroach. It's amazing the things he's been able to survive. So, whatever. I won't be surprised.
I mean,
but yeah,
with the rumors, he might quit. So, like,
yeah,
here's
who knows?
hoping.
So,
Stat anyway,
versus Ruby Soho.
They're
both so good.
This match is interesting. So, with everything that happened at All In with the Outcasts, it's gonna be interesting because it's kind of a thing of like, does Tony kind of accidentally or on purpose screw over Ruby, or do they give the Outcast their all the gold moment? And like, do you really want to take the belt off of Chris Statlander just to give them their all the gold moments?
I was gonna say no way they take the belt off Statlander right now, but we've already established. So
it happened last Sunday. It could happen this Sunday.
I don't know. I just want them to have good wrestling match.
We all cried, Connor. We cried.
Not for the same reasons, but we cried.
We cried a river.
I was crying when when it came out that they got into a fight backstage in the middle of the show.
With laughter
came out. It's like, oh hey, they fought. They got into a fight backstage. I was like, oh fuck off. And then I started crying because then we had to deal with more of this shit.
I thought it was the funniest shit. That could possibly happen. I was not. It was so funny. Jeff Perry did nothing wrong. Yeah. So I would like for them to have a good match, and I would like for Statlander to retain, and I would like the women's division to be booked good. And I would like a lot of things I'm not gonna get.
Watch Stardom,
Perry in a 200 light tubes death match.
Yeah, this is our sponsored Stardom segment.
Even if you watch Stardom, you're not guaranteed to get the things you want.
Yeah.
Even if you watch Star, you're not guaranteed to get the things you want.
I would like Chris Statlander to retain. I wouldn't be bothered if Ruby retained. She's excellent as well. But
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this match is like a thing of like I'm not gonna be super upset if Ruby wins, but like don't take the belt off of Chris.
Yeah.
Like Chris.
I wish I had more.
Champion.
Yeah, I wish I had more opinions about this.
I wish I had more authority in AEW's booking.
I wish I had more opinions, but like the fact of the matter is that they just don't give women stories and character, so like I can't really connect to it because like there's no story behind it. But it'll be good.
I touched about this last week when we did the All In preview. This challenge happened when it was during Ruby Soho versus Sky Blue, where they did like the little pre-match like backstage interview video things, and they did Ruby's, and Ruby challenged Chris Statlander to a match for the title, and then they did Sky Blue's, and Sky Blue was in the middle, they're like doing the pre-tape thing, and Sky Blue got attacked, and then they had to quickly cut off Sky Blue. That was kind of like the telling point of like, oh no, they really don't care about this TBS title match.
Could not agree more, Connor, by the way.
Tony's thing is like the only good thing with the women's division right now, unfortunately. And I wish there was better things. I mean, Chris's reign's been good, but anyway. All
right, we've been at this for a while. What's next?
Yeah. Next up, Darby Allin versus the fake TNT champion Luchasaurus.
The big red.
Sure, why not? What's next?
TNT title.
Sure, why not? What's next?
Oh shit! We're just speedrunning it. Okay.
Yeah.
FTR and the Bucks versus Bullet Club Gold.
I feel like I touched upon this earlier. It's another match that I think shouldn't exist, but I will be watching because the Young Bucks are my besties. Next.
God damn! She's wasting no time. Hold on, really quick before we. She's wasting no time.
Also, Jack Perry did nothing wrong.
Really quick.
Jack Perry did nothing wrong.
Jack Perry, like, and every sentence is like, yeah, this is a match that exists. Jack Perry did nothing wrong. Moving on. Do you see a heel turn happening with this match?
I would love for the Bucks to turn heel. I would love nothing more for the Bucks to turn heel. If the Young Bucks actually turned around and super kicked FTR in the face, I would be very happy. Yes, thank you. Yes.
How is that? Like, I just don't get with this. Like, how is that how is it a heel move to kick Cash Wheeler in the face?
I mean, you know.
Because that's how wrestling works. They're both face teams. You can't just beat up another face for no reason. Otherwise, you're the heel. That's how wrestling works.
I've said this before. Like, it's really difficult to be a face when you are naturally inclined to be a prick.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask again, why is it so? What is the heel thing about super kicking Cash Wheeler?
I don't care. I would just like to see it personally. I would like to see that, and I would like to see a heel Bucks. I don't really care how we get there.
So now here's the thing with the heel Bucks, because I would also be down for the Bucks to turn heel again. How do they work with the rest of the Elite?
I mean, like, here's the thing about the Elite and the Bucks and like all of them is like, yeah, exactly. And I think that they could. I think that like, they strike the balance really well.
They're horrible friends. The only thing that's going to be more noticeable when they're heels is that they're going to be actual shitbags.
But like, as far as alignments go, like they've always been kind of like that. Like even when they're heels, like they're nice to their friends, or they'll like interact nicely with kids or whatever, or they'll like talk about their families. Like even when they were like heels, like way back in the beginning, and they got criticized for doing stuff like that. Like they do what they want. The Young Bucks can do whatever they want. The Young Bucks can do whatever they want. Yes.
It would be interesting to see how a heel Bucks work with Kenny and Hangman. Hangman's still kind of like not.
I think
wasn't loving when they were heel before.
A Hangman heel turn soon as well. To be honest,
I would not be mad
that he's going to be.
I don't think
he's going to be.
Turn Henny. I don't think they turn the Hennessy heel so quickly. I don't think they turn Kenny heel so quickly.
Why not?
Like he's right in the middle of a face, like the face run with the Feud of Dawn. Like maybe later once he finishes his thing going on Don Callis, but like I just can't see them being like, oh shit, the Bucks are face or the Bucks are heel. Okay, Kenny, you're heel now. Like, could you pull up that question Israel asked about Bullet Club Gold becoming too jokey? I love Bullet Club Gold, but in the beginning when these four paired, I thought Jay was going to bring his New Japan Bullet Club essence to AEW, but now it's all jokes. I mean,
wasn't Jay White pretty jokey when he was in Bullet Club?
He was always jokey.
I feel like he's always been pretty jokey.
Jay White was always jokey. Even before Bullet Club, when he was with like Chaos, he was pretty jokey. That's just how Jay White's been.
Thanks for joining us, Connor.
I never thought Bullet Club.
Please feel better.
Oh yeah, thanks for joining. Bullet Club Gold has always been like jokey. I've never thought Bullet Club Gold was going to be like War Dogs or anything. Like as soon as it was just like when it first started, it was just him and Juice. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a pretty more comedy kind of like style of Bullet Club. And then they brought in the Guns, and I was like, okay, this is a full comedy style of Bullet Club. And then they brought in Cardblade, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, this is comedy Bullet Club. I don't know how anyone has a problem with it though.
Yeah,
this is great.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Better Than You, Baby main event, right? People are like, oh, it's too jokey, oh, it's too silly, but like you can have both. you can have like both really good wrestlers and jokiness. Like you can.
Is
have
Jay
it.
White any less menacing because there's a cardboard cutout of him next to him?
I don't think so.
You see, looked at him in the ring at Wembley. He was still an arsehole, right? Like he was still dangerous.
Jay White's still a super versatile guy, like where he can be both goofy and also really serious in the ring, and like it was always going to translate when he came here to AEW. Before I go, Cardblade Jay White is the greatest fucking thing in the world, hands down, 100%. So like Bullet Club Gold was always going to be super gimmicky like this. This was always going to be their thing, and like it's great. I don't hate it. I love it. It's one of my favorite things about Collision, and they've also proved on Collision that they can go. Like Juice and Jay got a 5-star match with FTR. I think I got 5 stars. Pretty sure I got 5 stars. Like they got a 5-star match with FTR, and the one was double the 2 out 3 falls. Yeah, exactly. Like it happens. I see Starfield in the background, and I'm actually like
jonesing.
Son of a bitch! I want to play it. I need to wait till 5 or like 2.5 hours. Anyway, any other thoughts on?
Oh yeah, Starfield.
Yeah, I can see Starfield. Yeah. I saw Starfield in the background.
I guess my wife announcing to the world that my time is nearly up.
Yes.
Son of a bitch! I want to play. Any other thoughts on FTR and Bucks? Bullet Club Gold? No, we're just moving on. Okay.
I think we hit the points.
We hit the points.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Miro.
Miro is going to win because that doesn't work for me, brother. Hobbs will.
No one has any thoughts on Hobbs versus Miro?
Not really.
I'm not a Hobbs fight.
I'm not a
Miro
Hobbs fight
will only
girly.
work with people that he's going to win. I guess.
You're not a Hobbs fight person, really?
I am extreme. Oh my god, there's nothing that bores me more than a Hobbs fight. Are you kidding me? Ugh.
Wow.
So it's not for me. It's not for me. Yeah, like when I say that, like wrestling, it's just not for. It's not. So
it's not your thing. No,
for the people who like it. Yeah, for the people who like it, I'm sure it'll be great. Yeah, that's what I got.
All 5 of them?
Yeah, that's totally fair. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. Do you have any comments on the big meat and men bumping meat, Alex, or are we just moving on to the next one?
Rusev Crush will probably skip this match.
Oof. All right. I mean, I'm a sucker for some big boys slapping some big old piss out of each other.
I don't mind Miro at all, but I find the whole thing that he's not going to lose, is he? Like, and we were speaking about the meta thing in wrestling earlier, when like we are all cognizant of the fact that Miro will not take even a loss from Page, so he's not taking one from Hobbs, is he? So I don't fucking care.
I feel like this one's gonna have some QTV shit going on. like that's probably how it's going to end with Hobbs against
kill me.
accidentally screwed over by QTV again, because they're going to want to protect Hobbs, right? So it would make sense, and then like Hobbs just beats up QTV Marshall and Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado afterwards to get his heat back or something. It's like that's probably how it's going to end. That's probably how they're going to protect Hobbs and have Miro win. Miro's theme is a banger. Jack Perry did nothing wrong. Moving on.
Yep.
So, final match, the big one. The one that we're probably the most, all of us, the three of us, I think we can collectively agree we're the most excited for. Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
I think
it's gonna be
we
so
can
good.
all collectively agree that this is the match we're all the most excited for.
Yes.
There we go.
Jack Perry did nothing wrong.
Yeah,
Jack Perry did nothing wrong. And we are wrestling.
Yep.
No, this match will be phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Like, I don't have any strong feelings about All Out. The pay-per-view happened last week. This is basically like AEW Road Rager presents All Out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, this is the
it's
like I normally do a blackout on social media the day that there's a pay-per-view on. I don't fucking care. Like, I'll read, I'll figure out which matches are good, I'll watch the good matches, and I know that this will be one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could give you a rundown of all the good matches afterwards, by the way. I keep a sheet.
And I assume that Powerhouse Hobbs versus Miro will be right at the tippy top.
5.75 stars. It's already at the amount of meat in this match has already put them at a 4-star by default.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing this. After like, I don't know. This is the only match really that's got a proper build. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Takeshita has to win, but when was the last time Kenny had a dub on pay-per-view? I think he's like 06, the last 6 pay-per-views. I don't know that he has to win. Maybe. I'm not even thinking about that, to be perfectly honest. I just think it's going to be a killer match.
Kenny
I expect there'll be shenanigans
on tape.
But
wait, hold on. Holy shit. Kenny hasn't won on pay-per-view in a calendar year. The last time Kenny won on pay-per-view was All Out 2022. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, because they didn't Full Gear, which was devastating for me personally. It was
Full
my
Gear
birthday.
They lost.
And
it's okay. My birthday's this Sunday, so I mean I might suffer as well on Sunday. It's my birthday as well this Sunday, so we'll see.
Yeah. I guess not. I guess he hasn't. I mean, like, I feel like at this point in his career, wins and losses truly do not matter for Kenny Omega. He wins. They don't. Like, whatever.
It's Kenny Omega. Win or lose, no one gives a fuck. It's Kenny Omega.
It's Kenny Omega. I would like to see him win.
Omega,
but I don't have to see him win.
Yeah, it's tricky because he hasn't won a pay-per-view in a calendar year, but also at the same time though, I don't know.
I don't think it matters.
Maybe
it
you
matters
give this
to,
one.
It matters to Takeshita. It doesn't matter to Kenny Omega.
It will matter to me afterwards as they continue to go along the story that they're weaving. But at this point, I'm they're gonna have a great match and they're telling a story, and I have faith in them, and whichever happens, I'm sure it'll be great. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Jack Perry did nothing wrong.
They were to do this match, Jack Perry did nothing wrong. I think with this match is if Takeshita wins, it'll still be it'll elevate him, but because Kenny's on this pay-per-view losing streak, it might not elevate him as much as it would be if he was still IWGP US champion, for example.
I don't think that's true.
Well, I mean, it's being a champion versus beating a non-champion.
There's
a little
that
bit
to
of
a certain point in their career where beating them is effectively winning a championship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was in the arena when at Wembley, Kenny Omega was received like a fucking god.
Oh yeah, no, he'll get
beating him
is
is in of itself something that elevates him. And it doesn't matter whether he's not won in 6 months or whether he's on a 6-month winning streak.
I was gonna say he would get the same reaction at. Yeah, I was gonna say he would get the same reaction on Sunday, but then I remembered it's in Chicago, so like maybe.
Who knows what'll happen?
Depends on
Interesting
how
that there were no
people
CM Punk chants at Dynamite, though. I do think that that's telling.
I think it's because people have recognized that Dynamite's the elite show, and also with everything going on, it's kind of like, do we really want to chant for Punk right now? So also my thought, kind of
like when your buddies had too much beer at the pub, isn't it? And you're just like, no, like I'm sorry, I'll just take him home now.
Yeah,
that's CM Punk.
Yeah, I'll just take him home. I don't want to be associated with him. Yeah. So, and then another thing with this match is like, Kenosuke's beaten Kenny twice on pay-per-view now, technically, because of Anarchy in the Arena and then the 6-man tag last week. Like, Kenny's lost to a team with Takeshita on it twice in the last 2 pay-per-views. So that's kind of also another thing of like, if Takeshita wins here, it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of it's a little watered down to me.
I don't think it is.
It'll still like
they're at the beginning of the story. Like, we're gonna get to see all the story beats. Like, it's important at the moment for Kenny to have something to overcome in Callus's family, and it's really important for the message that Callus is putting across that Takeshita is the new Kenny, but better. And if Kenny's getting wins over Takeshita, that narrative kind of falls apart at both a meta and a superficial level. So like,
but that might be the point. Yeah, that could be the point, right? Is like Don Callis is trying to make fetch happen, in that Takeshita is the new god, but like when it comes 1-on-1, he can't hang, right? Like that could be a thing
as well.
You know, like that's what I mean about there are so many ways that the story can go that I'm not pressed about who's gonna win right now.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Either Kenny wins, and then Kenny kind of has. Oh no, this is probably gonna be match of the night. Like,
it could be a match
either this or Mox versus Cassidy's match of the night. It's probably a match of the year as well. I agree. This is going to be a match where either Kenny wins and then he can kind of hang that over Don's head, and then Don does something like Hirokut's a member of the family, or he like agrees to a match with Kenny when it's like no holds barred or some shit and not thinking straight, and it's like Kenny versus Don, and then Takeshita saves him and then Kenny loses, or it's something like Takeshita wins but Don Callis interferes, right? Like
barbed wire match.
Don Callis is going to interfere. Explain Don Callis versus Kenny Omega. Explain barbed wire death match. Let's get it.
Any final thoughts from you, MX?
Sorry, real quick. I think Don's going to interfere in this. Like, I would be shocked if Takeshita beats Kenny clean. Like, Don has to interfere, right? There's no fucking way Don doesn't interfere.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. Like, they need to protect Kenny so that like carrying the feud on means something. If he gets a clean win now, then
if he gets the win there, then like Don's right. Takeshita's new god for wrestling, and then Kenny Omega is kind of just there, and then you kind of just
regardless. I think the feud must continue, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. This is going to continue. There's no way because like at this point, this is a literal blood feud. At this point, like there's no way they just end it here. This would just not be a satisfying ending to the Kenny versus Don. Like
they're not going to end it. They're not going to end it at All Out, but I think it may be time for us to end this stream.
Hey.
I did it! I am MX Sharp. You can find me at Fake Sport Feel on Twitter and Blue Sky, although I don't post Blue Sky. Listen to On the Indies. We talk about North American indie wrestling. It's really cool. I am sorry, the Resident Evil AMC. You caught us at the end. Rewind.
Right, you can watch this on YouTube.
You can watch the VOD. I love all the other VODs of our streams. Subscribe to the YouTube. Like the video.
Yeah. Fusa,
watch the other VODs.
If you like what you see, you could listen to us at All Elite Listening, which is I think next week. I should probably know that I record it.
I'm not part of it. I'm not part of any podcast. Just these two. These two are the true gems of.
Are we recording All Elite Listening tomorrow?
Not are we? No, we're fucking not.
No. Did we record it? I can't remember. I've recorded too many fucking podcasts. I've recorded too many fucking podcasts. We're gonna
record it after we've all paid close attention to All Out.
I see. Yes. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. All paid close attention to All Out. Yeah, so I'll be listening for these two. I'm not in any podcasts, but you can find me on Twitter at Fusabalor. You can find me on Blue Sky at Fusabalor. I don't post on there either because my feed is literally empty. There's no one on Blue Sky yet. And you can follow me on Threads under the same tag. Check out the Wrestle Inn webs. Here, actually, Alex, plug yourself first, and I'll plug wrestling.
Find me at AlexM197 on Twitter, and I think it's just AlexM197 on Blue Sky. I sometimes remember to post my tweets on Blue Sky. Apparently, I haven't done that in a while because Fusa says it's empty.
Anyway, you invited me, I followed you. My feed it just says, "Hey, follow new people." Like it's literally empty, and I don't know why. I follow like other accounts on there as well, and it's just nothing there.
And you can find all of our other podcasts where you listen to your podcasts. Just search for Wrestle Inn, and there's including MX's, which I think is on there.
I'm pretty sure On the Indies is on just other platforms.
Yes. Yeah, we have a running joke where Alex doesn't care about the things that I do and does not talk about On the Indies.
It's okay, MX. I care about the things you do.
Thank you. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
And on top of being able to search, to find podcasts on there, subscribe to the Patreon. You get early access to all those podcasts along with Patreon exclusive content. You'll get early access to all the interviews that go up on the Wrestle Inn website. Check out the website, follow the Twitter at Wrestle Inn, join the Discord. We are always chatting in the Discords. Mainly me is always chatting in the Discord. And yeah, I think I got everything. I nailed everything.
Everyone's gone now, so we don't have to say goodbye.
I forgot one thing.
Oh, Jack Perry did nothing wrong.
Jack Perry did nothing wrong. Yes, right. Jack Perry did nothing wrong. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. We will see you on whatever our next stream is. Whenever. Bye-bye.
Bye. Jack Perry did nothing wrong.